So with D2 underscore CL, D2CL, 5.7K people. This is the Russian variant. Russia. Let's see if we get MC. All right. Nemiga versus Team Tickles. All right, let's do this. Best of 3. All right, let's get this out. All right, another beautiful day here for Dota 2, everybody. We're going to be casting off. Oh, what another beautiful series we got. All right, so we're going to be a little bit behind, but that's totally fine. We do have a couple bands coming out straight out the gate. Our bands do completely include the, looks like Kunkka, Lena, Io, as well as the Darkseer. So I usually have a tendency to see a lot more of the pucks being picked up. We do have Quaps that get picked up. A lot of Monkey King that gets picked up. There's quite a bit that's been going on. Planning on kind of seeing exactly how this runs. Abaddon, very good choice. A lot of dispel, things that you don't have to worry about. The slow from the Quap is beneficial to be dispelled on top of somebody. Monkeys are usually banned or picked one way or the other. Let's see. What else do we got going? It's kind of hard to say. Team Tickles has been performing pretty well lately, right next to Nigma. But they played each other so many times, like recently, that they kind of have a really good feel of what each other is going to do in each one of these games. A lot more of the common bands that you're seeing too is so it's Io, Puck, Monkey, Tide, Quap, Void Spirit. A lot of people that can actually disrupt the team fight and stop team fights becoming 5v5s. It looks like everybody's trying to keep team fights more to like 3v2s or 2v1s. Anybody that can jump in and stay ganky, get in, do a lot of burst damage, get a nice pick off, and then run away. So Quap is very good at doing that. Monkey's also on that list. Puck is amazing at doing that. Weaver, even with the Sashuki, can have a tendency to come in, do a lot of disruption, and despite whether he has the a potential advantage or not, he can just come in, nuke down, tick, and then just time lapse out of there, whether he's in trouble or not. Glimpse or even X marks the spot is beneficial to help kind of take out some of that Weaver problems. But you don't see a lot of disruptors picked up. Nyx can make sure that there's not enough mana to maintain. Outworld Devour is just a courtesy ban to Outworld Devour because he is a friggin' nightmare. Like straight destructive nightmare. Who else we got coming up? So I know we're a little bit behind the main stage, which is totally fine. But I have no problems with that. I just love to kind of get into some of this. So Quap and Weaver, Quap is very likely to go mid, and Quack Puck is a very actually common scenario that we've been seeing. Thompson actually queued up against Anna just intentionally to play this. He played the Puck, and Puck was out skilling, despite it being Anna, of course, on the Quap, out skilling just because the ability to vanish and dodge all of Quap's abilities just gives him so much sustain. The Orb of Illusion versus the Blink when it comes to rune control in the early games is really significant. So whenever you're actually going into that 1v1 in the mid lane, the Puck is able to outskill very heavily all the way through like the mid game phase. They did ban out the Wraith King. Wraith King does have one of the highest win rates right now because Wraith King and then Aegis Wraith King, it's just Way too much to deal with. Way too much beef. Still has a lot of stun and a lot of sustain on top of his regeneration. So it's just kind of ridiculous. Morphling has a tendency to just pop your more fleshy heroes, the things that don't have a lot. Morphling with any kind of a shotgun build could just make quick work of your Quap. On top of it, it's not uncommon to see a Morphling pick up a silence to make sure your Quap can't go anywhere. So Morphling is just a protection to make sure your mid lane doesn't get ganked out of nowhere. Your PA also a great assassin for the back line. Hoodwink typically picked up for the break. They haven't actually picked their tanks yet. So this actually typically would stop like a bigger bristleback or even, man, anybody with a lot of passive I don't die kind of scenario. Centaur War Runner is potentially hazardous. It does help a lot with a Tidebringer. So picking into a Tidebringer is kind of difficult with a Hoodwink. Depending, the Hoodwink can actually launch the shots. If Hoodwink lands his shots on top of a Bristle or a Tide, they melt. It's pretty much instantaneous. You do have a small period of time to be able to handle that, which it's kind of surprising they would actually pick off the Hoodwink and not necessarily the PA, and instead of banning the PA. The biggest reason being is because on top of the Hoodwink, the PA actually has her own break in the Fan of Knives, which comes from her Aghanim Shard. So it's really easy to just jump on top of a Bristleback or Tide. You get a few seconds to actually just kind of nuke them down. Nobody has to invest like heavily into a Silver Edge. But you still see a lot of those other larger tanks still picked up, but it kind of limits what type of tank you get picked up because of the ulti from the Hoodwink. They do go with the Luna, so now they have a lot of forest and jungle control because it's very difficult to fight into the forest or jungle with the Luna there. Luna basically just pops her ulti, and if you're caught out with no creeps around, you're definitely going to be in trouble for a while. Some Lunas lately have been scaling really heavily into her 2-3, and that just gives her the quick farm ability. So foregoing a lot of the magic damage until like mid to late game, just trying to get that early farm in. So it's kind of interesting to see what they might go into here. You might want to consider going into a heavier build into that magic, just considering you have squishy heroes like the Puck and the Hoodwink available to just quickly nuke down. Unfortunately, though, you're still going to need the Quap Silence to get the lockdown on Puck. I would like to still see like a Grimstroke picked up just to hold the Puck down. Puck obviously can have the Dream Coil to deal with that Quap, so Quap can't blink out of dodge. Abaddon able to disrupt and basically just, I don't know, he doesn't have a whole lot to dispel. Not a whole lot that I can really see. Treant Protector, really a lot of beef on there. I used to love the Treant Protector of old, but they gave him the vision of the trees, so he can actually just kind of drop off as a tree vision. Not everybody goes into that route, though. It's kind of unfortunate. I'm a bigger fan of that. I like getting my team a lot of vision. The downside is it takes so long to farm and to make that viable, and you're easily countered by like a ward or an eye. But putting an eye on the field, especially when you have a Weaver's potentially dangerous. You do have a Terror Blade, though, which is pretty dope. The scaling of Terror Blade is nightmarish just because of that high agility regen you end up with. Not regen, but high agility gain per level. It's really significant. I personally don't buy a lot of agility items with Terror Blade. I like to go more into survivability, a lot of more strength, just to make sure I don't necessarily die fast. I want to at least be able to kill somebody out, and then as I'm slowly dying on the second person, then I can go ahead and use my ultimate to swap out my my spirit or soul essence, kind of to be able to take that part over. Final picks, Mars. I see. I wouldn't necessarily ban the Mars, mainly because I don't have to worry so much about the IO, because it's a little bit late to pair a Mars IO when you have already Mars kind of locked out of dodge. Not sure what they're going to go into here. You have a potential tank in the Treant, definitely a tank on the Abaddon. Not sure where they're going to go. I feel like you have enough right click with the Luna, even the Weaver, if Weaver doesn't play his no boots version position 5 that he jumps into. Not sure where they're going. Alright, so they did block the Timber, so they are considering tanks because they're blocking tanks out. Looks like tanks are still in play, mainly because the Mars is banned and the Timber. They also banned the Lycan. Lycan is a tank, but he's like a quick temporary tank. Lycan without a lot of AoE is easily killable. A lot of Lycans without the shapeshift are easily killable. It's just a quick pick off unless you're in that shapeshift. It's critical to only fight under that shapeshift whenever humanly possible. Otherwise, your life is just like you're in trouble. I'm not sure who's left to ban. Oh, yeah, definitely takes are still on board. They're still blending out. Ban out Sandboy down there. So on these teams, Team Tickle, we do have Celeri, Dryacho, Ace, Boom, and Tofu. Nemiga Gaming, Chosen One, Ankrit, Kirikcha, Van Skor, and I don't know how to pronounce his name. It's really cool symbols though. They did pick up the Tide, even though they have the Hoodwink break. A little shocked that they're going to pick up the Tide. Not my first pick for a tank in this scenario, but I'm not the one playing this game. Kind of like to see where this goes. Let me go and do a quick testing 1-2 on the stream. Let me go. All right, it is kind of up. It's going. If you want to say anything or chit chat, let me know. I will. I'm very easy to conversate with. Well, let's kind of keep pushing through. See what's. Almost there. I don't like cheating. I know that I could actually just look up the answers on the other side, but I don't like cheating. So I'm not going to be sitting off and doing a whole lot of that. Wow, a Pangolier. So infinite spell immunity really only helps with the Luna and the Quap. You don't really have to worry about getting slowed down by the Treants. That spell immunity is actually a really smart idea. I'm going to give Pangolier big old high five and a clap because that's pretty dope. So this is best of 3, round 3 here. So let's see what happens. Everybody's going to be dropping it's going to be nonstop fighting, I think, at this point, because you do have very aggressive heroes in the Weaver, the Quap, as well as the Puck and the Hoodwink. Hoodwink's just going to want to drop his ulti as much as humanly possible. Super excited to see this game. So far, if I have to give it to anybody, it's a little rough. I think the Terrorblade's going to have to outscale. If the Terrorblade can outscale the Luna, I think they're going to be in a really good place, especially with the Pangolier being able to just open up the floor to make sure nobody gets tackled down to. Terrorblade, unfortunately though, so far what I've seen in this ranking is not able to keep up with the sustainability, and that's too many Terrorblades go really heavy in agility items when you're naturally just going to build agility from levels. So I like to see more leveling items. I would like to see Hannah Midas just to pick up those levels, because the faster you get those levels in, much like an Invoker, the more natural agility you're going to end up with. So it's difficult, extremely difficult to me consider that the Terrorblade is going to be potentially viable unless he goes into some of those things. He needs to scale that leveling as fast as humanly possible. Hannah Midas is one of the greatest ways to pick up the levels. Like I said, it's just an old school and basic standard strat for the Invoker. Hoodwink, I love that. He's got everything kind of unlocked already. That Hoodwink looks dope. If he can land his ultimate sitting on the Tide, mwah to you too. If he can land some of those and get those his ultimate sit on the Tide and break him open, they're going to be able to crack him open really easy, especially at that little level 6. If you just start pounding him in, just boom, 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 he's going to get that hype going, and then it could be just like a complete wipe, starting from the side of what I'm going to call Team Terrorblade. But Nigma is playing, Chosen One is playing the Pangolier, so let's kind of see what everybody's got going. We got Solari sitting on the Treant Protector, Dryacho, on the Luna, Ace and the Tidehunter, Boom on the Quap, Tofu on the Weaver, the Chosen One sitting on Pangolier, and Kart Ankrad on the puck, curting the Terrorblade, Vance on the Abaddon, and really difficult to pronounce the other one, but we'll let that one go. All right, so let's get this baby rolling. So now, starting with the item builds that we first have kind of popping up, we have Treant Protector. He's coming in with a whole boatload of HP regen. A bunch of tangos. We got a Coiling Blade. Despite being ranged, it still adds additional 6. And for the cost dollar for dollar, you are never going to get better than a 6 on a Coiling Blade for ranged. Like it's just cheap, because even if you go straight 3 stat, you're going to end up having to buy 2 of those. That cost 300 gold versus the Coiling Blade, which is straight 6. Granted, it's only the creeps, but what else do you need it for in the early phase anyway? Ty did pick up Coiling Blade, obviously melee, gets double strength bracers on the way. It might not look like he might only build in a 1 strength bracer. Oh, that's going straight into Soul Ring. Apologize, suck it. We do have 3 tangos. Look, I'm on a fucking normal fucking match. All right, well, I'll just see what's going on. Weaver, tons of bonus tangos. Quick challenge. Did Weaver get it? Ah, he's a faster clicker. Go him. They're mad. They had 2 there. No silence, no stun, no harass. They knew he was there anyway. 3 tangos. So you got 3 tangos on the puck. I really feel like Puck is going to be favored in this if he's able to land off. See, he went straight into Illusionary Orb, so he's going to get a lot of lane control and rune control. But this phase shift is going to help him stop from getting harassed by the Quap pretty significantly. He's able to pull it off. Now, if this Terrorblade, because if you look at the game, 4.4 agility per level is a ridiculous amount of agility. Basically, it's a free pair of boots every 2 levels. So going into some of those things that give you better experience is very beneficial on a Terrorblade rather than going heavy into agility. You feel like it's going to help you scale, but it's a bad return on investment just because you're getting so much agility anyway. It looks like we're going to have a little bit of fight on the bottom lane. Nothing too bad. They might realize that he's by himself. We got more regen on the Abaddon, and then Hoodweek sitting in lane with the Terrorblade. So Tide kind of sit by himself, went straight into Anchor Smash, so he's in like farm mode versus I don't want to die protection mode. I'm going to get my hits, get the fuck out of dodge, right? So Treant Protector coming up here on top. Hey, what's up, Sooth? No, I appreciate the opportunity, but I'm watching the game. All right, so we got... Ooh. Little Shishuki, not enough to go into the range, hitting the tower range here, just right across this line. So not enough to dive. Does waste the mana on the Shishuki. Let's see how the mid range is going. So we're going to pull up the last hits and denies. I'm going to give it to Puck. Even now I'm getting let down. It is now 10-7 Puck versus Quap. And that is a matched pair of creeps there. So sitting up in the top lane, a little bit of a gesture of a high five. Hey, we're just going to play a friendly game, but at the same time, screw you. So this Terrorblade not having any problems. See, he sits already at 9. Oh, man, 9 armor. They're trying to get a kill on this Treant. Just can take all the harass he needs to. That armor being so high so early, it doesn't need the highest HP pool just because every hit basically just doesn't really hurt all that much. So he's going to jump into that Treant. He's trading back and forth. Doesn't have a lot of concerns. Barely used his very first tango. Hasn't really needed a whole lot. Looks like the Abaddon's sitting as a hard support. They're going to go ahead and get the slow popped off, and they're going to start milking him down. Now that damage that he's suffering from right there. Ooh, nice dispel to make sure he doesn't finish going off. The Nature's Grasp obviously was the floor ground, but the Leech Seed is magical damage. So the armor doesn't help up against Leech Siege. Like Leech Siege can suck it. Like it's just a straight magical. So the armor is no benefit to him. It looks like the Treant Protector is going to go ahead and ward, get that counter ward in. They do have vision here. Nothing too crazy. I'm a little more interested in this Puck scenario. This Puck Quap trading. Anchored's doing good. Oh, Quap is going to... Does she have her bottle yet? She does, and she steals the money from the backside and looks like might actually pick up this double-stacked camp. It's a lot of bonus gold there. She just got to wait out her cooldowns. Let her cooldowns just deal with a lot of that. She's going to use her Scream of Pain to farm that up. Right-clicking and then just taking a lot of this. It's a little bit too much damage for my taste. Now, you just took maybe 60 damage there. It's not terrible, but it's still an additional right-click that you have to worry about. Puck does go ahead and trade off and do the same. Looks like Puck's going to attempt to get the steal. Unfortunately, unable to, but that illusionary orb does give him a lot of crowd control. Also have a nice bottle sitting in there. Shishuki Boy coming in. Not doing a whole lot, except for walking and wasting a lot of time. Walking from lane to lane is not the greatest idea. We might have a fight coming up here top. No, looks like not. He's trying to pick up. Oh, I would be so mad. I would be, yep, I feel your pain. I feel your pain, Puck. Oh, well. Ooh. Another Dispel coming in. So that's one of the biggest things. So the Aphotic Shield dispels and your Mist Coil heals. So it's really good to when you're up there just fighting into this. Now it is a try lane. But it definitely is a really good supportive item. Just wants to do some kind of harass on Shishuki Boy. Not really a whole lot there. So we got 37-31. It looks like Whop is doing this really well. Not everybody is capable of being Thompson. Yeah, that's why Thompson's Thompson. He's acting like he's Bristleback because he consistently turns his back. Now, Kraken Shell does have a damage threshold, but it's any portion of the body. It's not isolated to specifically the back, the left, or the right-hand side. So he probably plays a little more Bristleback than he does a Tide, just because he has that. I don't know if you noticed the reaction to actually go ahead and hide from behind. Looks like Hoodwink was trying to pick off that courier. He's not going to be able to get it. Not in time anyway. Anchor Smash is just going to do a lot of work. He just basically doesn't give a shit. Ooh. Another stacked camp there, but that's a little late to actually stack the camp. Were they trying to pull the creeps through? They were. They were trying to pull the creeps through underneath that tower. If that works, that is, I've never actually done it from that range. That used to be a thing on one of the older maps back when Roche was actually sitting off in this section. It was a lot easier to pull that larger stack camp, but looks like it might be potentially viable. That timing probably has to be really perfect just to get vision on everybody. Tri-Link comes in. It's going to start right-clicking down the level 3 Abaddon. Abaddon just trying to make sure his Terror Blade doesn't die out, because that's kind of his goal in life. Yeah, I am. Hello, I am the only one casting. RoboBlitz typically co-cast, but he's not available today. But yeah, I'm the only one casting for English. I'm behind. I understand I'm behind the stream. Oh, on the main stage, they did throw the Scream in. Looks like Quap eats it. No hesitation from there. They counteracted that really quick. The rat was able to do his thing. But yeah, I'm definitely going to be the only one casting this in English. I actually love the Russian style gameplay for Dota. It's very Mexican at heart, so I'm a big fan. I watch a lot of Mexican wrestling, not wrestling, boxing. So typically the Russian style, and you can see a little bit of actually quite a bit difference whenever you actually watch a lot more of these. Big fan of that version. There's a lot of meat coming up here in that top lane to pick up that Terror Blade. They finally get a kill on him, and it looks like they're going to try to pick up this Hoodwink too. Nothing the Hoodwink can really do despite being under tower. It's only a tier 1 tower, so it's not the scariest thing to have to dive, at least not anymore. Fairy Tringa picked up by the Puck. Looks like he's going to keep that one for himself. Just bonus spell damage. Makes everything a lot easier to cast. They're going to go ahead and keep this top lane tower pretty easily. Terror decided to go ahead and just start side farming. They don't have actual vision outside from this center portion here, so that makes it difficult for Terrorblade to move around really safely anyway. Quap utilizing your Scream of Pain just to farm multiple camps at a time. Looks like Punk, despite being level 8, is still isolated to the mid lane, which isn't a bad thing because this is going to give Puck a significant portion of levels. At this point, considering the vision that they have, knowing that the team is up here, it wouldn't bother me to put the Terror Blade mid just because the XP bonus that he's going to be able to get, so we can hit his level 6 as fast as possible. We do have the Treant Looks like he's just going to be walking around. Does have raindrops. That helps with everybody's spell damage because that raindrops are a lifesaver. Let's go to current gold. Excuse me, scratch that. Dream Coil committed. Apparently does miss. They're going to rack down this Luna. Luna does not have her ulti. And so that's what I was saying at the beginning of the match. Most Lunas nowadays are just basically sitting in their 2-3s. And they don't go into the ulti. They despite wanting to live in the forest because they just want to pick off that early jungle farm. And so many times you see that actually just not pay off. Illusionary Orb just doing so much work for that puck, just getting tons of farm, a lot of splash damage. Thanks for joining, by the way, Jay. Soul Ring being used. Weaver also has the raindrops. Ooh. So this is the one thing that I'm actually really scared about is this tank here. He has spell immunity, so it built into his kit, and it's very significant. It's not like Juggernauts where it's just the duration of the spin. It is to an extent, but the time duration and the harass that you get on the Pangalier's ultimate. So this is the Rolling Thunder. It's tons of magic damage. If you get used to the actual movement control to him, and it's really detrimental. So here we go. Just gonna jump in. Doesn't have to worry about getting slowed down, spelled. Bounces off one wall, bounces off the other. He's played this quite a bit. So momentum for him is actually based off bouncing. And so if you're really good at playing like pool, you'll be really good at like rolling around with that Pangolier. Plus, it's a ridiculous amount of fun. Yay! A lot of heals coming out from the Treant. A little bit of slows on the Pangolier. Pangolier does get away pretty easily, but that's just what Pangoliers are known for doing. Much like pucks, they've got a quick amount of disengage. Looks like Pangolier wants to go ahead and push into that bottom lane. See if Hoodwink's going to be dropping some vision up here to get some help on those Terrorblade. Now, Terrorblade hasn't really stopped farming yet. He's finally level 6. But he's coming out of the jungle. He does have regular boots. Ooh, is he picking up a Hanamitis? Magic Wand. Hanamitis! Yes! He's going for the level build! Oh, finally! Oh, see, I hate when they just go straight in the stats because they don't end up with the levels. And the levels, especially because of the 4.4 level gain, it is so worth getting into. I'm excited to see this game. I'm going to say that I feel like Team Tickles is in trouble because Terrorized Boy kind of knows what he's doing. He didn't pick up the Sunder. He's going straight for like, let's farm the crap out of things. But he didn't get into the Sunder. He doesn't plan on getting low enough to actually have to use it. It looks like they're going to draw a little happy face, maybe a squirrel. I see like a baked potato. This might be the butter, some chives. I'm not sure exactly what they're talking about. Oh, that's the butter. And there's the chives. I don't know. But anyway, the fact that this boy is going into that build, that makes me really excited. The Hanamitis is really nice. See what Trant's got. He's got basic boots, a little bit of wand, so he's playing position 4-5. I'm really glad he actually even has boots. Looks like he's going to go into mana boots. I'd like to see an axe picked up on him, but axe isn't worth squat unless you pick it up in like 20 minutes or something. Luna just straight into the farm mode. She plans on living in the jungle until she comes out really fast. So she's playing like an AM or Faceless Void style. You got Tide. He's coming in really hot with a lot of bonus HP regen plus the magic resistance coming out of that hood. Looks like his backup is going to be that bonus damage. It's anytime you're attacked, which his job is to be attacked pretty considerably. And 4 HP regen. It's not the worst. It's not the greatest. Chip Vest, I feel like as long as you're farming, it's great. If it's not, if you're using it in a team fight, I feel like it's fairly underwhelming. The only person I would say it's really good on is like a Blade Mail sitting on top of what's his name? Spectre. Outside from that, I'm really not a big fan of that vest. When you go into the Quant build, she's got a lot of intelligence more than anything else. It looks like she's going to be finishing up. Looks Sage, but she's going to S&K, huh? All right, so she's going to get a little bit more beefy, so that's not bad. Plus intel, she doesn't want to go with the movement speed, but doesn't need it because of the blink. Weaver does have 11 charges on his wand. As usual, Weavers don't get boots anymore. Still kind of drives me nuts because I love boots, and it just bugs me that there's characters nowadays that don't run boots. Although the exception would be Techies. Techies without boots is dope because all you use is blink for your movement. Like you get a blink dagger, and those are your boots. Pretty dope. If you haven't seen that, Dendy has a really good video on that. Pangolier does Vanguard, so he's rolling around, not only spell immune, but basically physical immune at this point. It's too early in the game for anybody to actually right-click him down. Puck does have Veil of Discord. It's going to be doing a lot of extra splash damage, probably with that Illusionary Orb. Obviously, you're going to drop off your Waning Rift on top of the Dream Coil. So he's trying to nuke down, looks like that Quap as soon and as fast as humanly possible. Terrorblade, I'm still in love with the fact that he's going with this Hannah Midas build. You don't see it often enough. I'm really excited he's going for straight levels, that just to abuse that agility gain. Abaddon, not even boots yet, but he's trying to save lives. I'm actually really excited he's even level 6 at this point, because Abaddon has really just played really backline in that top lane with that Terrorblade, just really heavy on the protection. And then the Hoodwink, of course, that ultimate, very detrimental when it comes down to some of your tanks. But whenever the Hoodwink comes out, let's see what passive he's going to have to worry about. Nature's Guise, so he's going to be able to stop that self-heal regen amp, which isn't the world's greatest. I mean, it can be, but it's very... It's underwhelming when you're getting attacked by everybody. So, and you really don't fight into the tree. Like, you just dodge his Nature's Grasp. Try not to get leech seed. If you do, you stand away from other people. But Tree's basically like a living armor. He's actually quite a bit of crowd control, but not something you have to worry about really right-clicking you down. 104 stock when it comes to the right click, but he's at 1.54 when it comes to the actual right click speed. So it's not the most detrimental worth of damage. It still comes out to, I think, roughly 75 DPS. It's like damage per second total. So not worried about that so much. The Luna does have her Moonglaves and Lunar Blessing, but once again, if you're getting attacked by a Luna, you're really more concerned about her magic damage, not necessarily you're worried about her right click, at least during the early phase of the game. The biggest one that you're going to want to break off is Tide's Kraken Shell. So anytime you see the Hoodwink ulti and then launch off versus the Tide, I want to see that Tide die. Like instantly jump on top of him, pop him, because you do have a limited time to handle that. So Hoodwink, that's the sharpshooter. And it is, let's see, how long is the break for? Looks like a debuff scaling the max after 3 seconds. It scales after 5, yada, yada, yada. Max debuff duration, looks like 5 seconds. You hit it all the way through with the 3-second timing. I'm trying to see. I know there's a break in here somewhere. Where is the friggin' break? Trust me, it breaks. It breaks. It doesn't say that it breaks, but it breaks. So what that essentially does is it removes the passives from like Kraken Shell. So he basically melts at that point. Missing it is just terrible. It's a little bit sad. We're not going to have full engagement. It's just tank versus tank. Neither one actually thinks they're going to be able to kill each other 1v1. They do drop the Dream Coil, though. Looks like it's not going to hit anybody. Quick disengage after that Dream Coil is dropped. Quap is completely fine. If I was the Puck, though, I'd be a little sad and cranky. Illusionary Orb still doing some work, trying to get that Puck some farm. Looks like Puck did decide to eat his final tree, using that Tango and the Iron Branch. Hoodwink sitting top. It's probably the most room for potential for a fight, just because of how close proximity they are. Vision's going to play a very big role. Able to still pop off the silence on the Weaver. Weaver's not really with the most. Ooh, see that Veil of Discord. That basically means that the Puck has pretty good reaction time when it comes to be able to actually drop the Veil of Discord and the Illusionary. That bonus damage, it really does sting. I'm in love with that invis warding there. You just kind of force more wards to have to come out. That counter warding is going to be mandatory at this point. Puck didn't pick up. It wasn't premonitionist enough, I guess. Have that expectation. Tickles. Go pudgy Tickles. Tickles. Ooh, a little more splash damage from that Anchor Smash. See, at this point, that Anchor Smash could be doing significantly better, like going up against Ancients, but he's the only one that can help keep pressure on that mid lane just because of how ganky the rest of the team is. We do have another potential team fight coming up here just because they're staring each other in the face. You can see quick rotations here if there's going to be any. Looks like nobody's going to be rotating to the outpost. They're just going to let the roly-poly do his thing. I just love his little pistols. Well, so his little pew-pew-pews. Anchor Smash still doing work. The only one that can really make sure that it's good. Tide's almost considered overextending. Is going to go ahead and take that tower damage without even worrying about it. He's trying to force a fight. He knows the Quap location. She does have her Scream up. He has a Ravage. Luna does have her ulti finally. and the Nature's Graph is out just to protect the Quap. He threw it up on the left-hand side. He knows that's exactly where his team is at, so if anybody decides to quickly engage, which they don't, they let that mid tower fall rather than team fight. Very passive at this point. They're probably waiting for some significant timings coming from the Terrorblade. Terrorblade's going to totally outscale, mainly because of the Hanamitis that he went into. Still hasn't picked up the... Oh, hold on one second. Yes, he has picked up the Hanamitis, so he's sitting at level 9. So now if you look at XP per minute, Hanamitis boy, 346, should slowly be taken over as that Hanamitis starts picking up. We'll be picking up Yasha. Very likely going to be grabbing the Banta. Yep, it's going to get those illusions going so that way he can farm that a little bit easier. I don't know why they're rotating. It's a little early to rotate on the Congo. I know it's 15 minutes in, but do they have the damage to do it? Definitely have the slows. Leech Seed to make sure they have the regen. This might take a little bit longer than they want. Quap's going to jump in. Now, since it is 15 minutes in, and it's not common to do this without like an Ursa, there's a couple other characters that can get caught completely off guard. That's a free Congour, ladies and gentlemen. And that free Congour does go the way of the Quap, which is very dangerous, sitting level 11. But you can see he's sitting at 380 now. 379. So I'm expecting that, that Terrorblade to kind of rise up in that XP per minute. It's going to take a little bit of time, but it will overall come on up. Especially with supports, we're actually to make camps for him and stack a lot of that stuff up. It doesn't look like there's a lot of that going on. Looks like everybody's kind of playing a lot of their own game. Let's go look at the net worth overall. Don't let the directed camera kind of cruise. So that's one of the benefits of going in your 2-3 build with the Luna, is taking those Ancients is really easy. But that's something that your Tide could have been doing for 4 or 5 minutes at this point. But it looks like they just want to secure mid lane rather than push in. Or they'd rather push in the mid lane with the Tide rather than give him the Ancients camp. Anchor Smash doing what Anchor Smash does. Oh, getting a little counter word off the Weaver. He gets pinned up. Takes a coconut to the noggin. Like the sound effects. I don't play a lot of Hoodwink, but if I did, it'd basically be for the sound effects. Ooh, is that Curry gonna get picked off by the Tide? Oh no, looks like it's missed. It's alright. Luna down here. Trying to pick up some little bit of that side farm. Drops her Mask of Madness for it. Looks like Puck does have his teleport boots up. And we have another pause! Alright. So that's always a plus. Quick alt tab, 2 seconds, and we're back. As long as I beat them, let's go ahead and see. All right, so net worth looks like Terrorblade's going to start making his way up. He's not I mean, he is kind of far behind, but Luna's kit by default, her 2-3 is very aggressive. She did get her Mask of Madness, so she's going to be scaling very well. She's going to end up taking over Quap. Quap does have her Scream of Pain, but she's not playing position 1. That's going to go to the Luna. So all of that spare farm is going to be going the way of the Quap, the Luna rather than the Quap, because Luna's going to have to take this into the mid and then eventually the late game. If it goes that far, you end up with a Tidebringer. He does have Pipe of Insight, so he's played really teamy. Doesn't want to have to worry about the magic damage. Magic damage coming from basically everybody at this point. Damage types physical, but the magical from the shield crash, magical from Rolling Thunder, so that's going to help from everybody taking a lot of those hits. So good job on the Pipe of Insight. Obviously, Puck being a significant source of magic damage, even so much as to get the Villa Discord, which is going to counteract a lot of that Pipe of Insight, unfortunately. Terror, you know, I mean, he's all agility and he's all right click. So not a whole lot you're going to have to worry about from the Terrorblade when it comes to the magic damage. And Abaddon, he basically was on that Curse of Avernus. So when it comes to team fight, but he's definitely has the heals. He has the Photic Shield. Now, this isn't a great source of damage. It does say 200 absorbed, and yeah, granted, it bounces everything back. But ultimately, this is to be used as a dispel more than anything else. You throw that on anybody who's in basically trouble. Probably going to be used more on that Terrorblade, just like he did during the laning phase. And then we have Sharpshooter, which is a lot of magic damage, and he's quite a bit. Bushwhack is magic damage. Acorn Shot is physical, so when it comes to that Pipe of Insight, So it's going to do quite a bit of work, but you might need more than one, but I don't know. It's better than nothing. I would definitely go with that and maybe just get some heal boots or something. So that way, or mechanism, so that way you can actually re-heal on top of the Pipe of Insight. Quap does have the Aegis still. She also has, ooh, I like that. So she has the invisibility rune bottled up right now. What she does with it is definitely, hopefully going to be fun to watch. Medallion of Courage on the Weaver, playing very supportive. Let's see what Quap does with this. Anchor Smash going in to help take down a lot of those Ancients. Is going to soften the Ancients for the enemy team rather than take them down himself. One or two more Anchor Smashes would have done really good there. Looks like Quap hasn't used her bottle yet. See where Quap's headed right now. She's going directly into their jungle. Does get the find. Oh, so sad. Does get the find on the Terror. Hey, knocks up a combo for her, though, on that Arcana. For the whole world to see. Not that he needs to be buyback ready, but you know he's not buyback ready. They do get the Dream Coil up on the Tide. Tide just having to eat so much. It's not broken, though. Where is the Hoodwink? Looks like Sharpshooter was utilized. Not exactly sure where it landed, but Tide would have been one dead cookie if he was the victim of that Sharpshooter. Quam getting stuck in there is silent, so she can't blink out for a little bit. One of the benefits of being the puck. That's silence and control there. Tide just goes straight back to farming. It looks like they're going to try to trace into this tree a little bit. Possibly into the Quamp. They're walking straight down mid like nothing matters, despite the sides being completely covered by enemy grounds. All right, quick return back. Hoodwink does have vision on the Quamp. Weaver chasing into the puck. Unable to do anything with that. Quamp wants to use his Aegis pretty heavily. I would too. Just jumps in, right clicks the Abaddon or Abaddon, take your pick. Just wait for that ulti to come down. She does not have her ultimate available, but it looks like she's not going to need a whole lot. A lot of that, there's that shield again, but a lot of that mainly because he does not have any farm. Despite having that huge ultimate of survivability, unfortunately, that's more of just a disengage at this point because he doesn't have the health pool or the health regeneration to be viable to right-click in the middle of that fight at all. Loosen Beam getting picked up for reduction. Oh! Quick pickoff on Terror Blade again. Is buyback ready? Completely worthless, but is buyback ready. Now, had he finished his Manta yet? He did not. He's going straight into a Scotty, it looks like. Decided to give up on the Manta despite getting a full Yasha. I wonder if the Dota Plus told him to do that, or if that's his own volition. 9 strength picked up on the Weaver, going into his tree. Abaddon's Tranquil Boots. So sorry he's dead. So sorry. Pangolier is doing a little bit of lane cutting here. Very difficult to kill a Pangolier. He just ultis and just skates on out of there. Looks like they're going to get a tier 2. Pango's still not even done getting that tier 1. Objective Gaming definitely coming out from the Radiant side. Whereas Dire's just trying to out farm, but unfortunately they're not. They're 9k behind. They're going to push in with the Luna. Puck jumps in, does a quick silence on the Tide. Unfortunately, without the break kid, that Tide's too much beef. Oh, Dream Coil devoted a 3-person Dream Coil. It looks like Luna does pop her BKB. It's going to come in and start doing some right-click damage. They do get the Ravage out. Scream also committed. Puck did die and come back with a buyback. Terror still seeming underwhelming at this point, unfortunately. Does do some boot swap and is an agility for right click. Blink Dagger picked up on the Pangolier. That's how he was able to engage so fast with his little roly-poly move. Roly-polyed in, blinked in, was able to engage a little bit quicker, just got in the middle of the fight a little faster. But he was able to actually cast his animation beforehand. So just now we're sitting at a 13k. A lot of that money went to Quap. One way or the other was definitely a benefit for the Radiant. On net worth. go to the items really quick. Some of the neutrals being utilized. Looks like Tree went full support, picking up the trusty shovel. Does have smoke available. Some of the other key items. Ooh. Some of the other key items is Dragonlance sitting on top of the Luna. It gives her a lot more bonus range. Really beneficial for farming because it does come stock with agility. Of course, you get a little more survivability because you can stay a little bit farther back in a team fight. Ravage Boy did pick up additional armor. Looks like BKB on the Queen of Pain. Looks like a quick engagement onto the Luna. Luna does decide to go ahead and drop her Lunar Blessing, or Eclipse, excuse me. Oh man, and the scream of pain. Eclipse did a lot of work in that team fight. It's like they're ready to start pushing up in that tier 3. Objective gaming is definitely a significant way to go. Not only is every pickoff worth money, obviously every tower is worth money, and they're leaving a lot of money on the board considering there's still 2 tier 1s up. Terror's still trying to out-farm as much as possible. If you look at Terror's total net worth, though, he is the top of their leaderboards, but unfortunately he's still 5K behind a Luna. 5K behind a Luna equates to roughly 2 solid items. One of those items being a Satanic at this point, which is... I mean, here, let's look at the exact price on this. You're looking at 5,050. So he is 1 full Satanic above the Terror. Terror's in a lot of trouble. I don't think he's going to be able to out-farm this. Unfortunately for him, looks like it's just going to be a rough life. Luna able to out-farm the Terror. Just push everything in. I believe this is going to be pretty close to like a GG calling, especially with a 16K lead. Unless Terror gets a really good engagement, a really good Sunder off. Might have won a gun with a cheese build. Sunder on top of Dagon is, I mean, you save it for pubs, but when you're going down to this point, you know, what else do you really have? The Hand of Midas did keep him at level 14. If you look at total hero level, he's still underwhelming. He's 4 levels behind, but that's basically due to participation in actual team fighting. Fortunately, didn't pick up enough kills, didn't pick up enough assists. He's actually sitting at 0-3. It almost looked like there's just a big difference in skill level, despite this game series being a 1-1. So best of 3, it looks like it's just Nemiga just got their pants tickled off by Team Tickle. That's so cheesy. Luna just dropping Ancients with no problem. Terror would have to sit there for a little while to kind of take one down. Fortunately, Hannah's Midas doesn't work on Ancients. Kind of wish I think he wished he did. That is a cute little courier. I'm going to take a little, that is adorable. What the crap. I didn't know we made things that cute. Oh, by we, I mean the rest of the community. I haven't actually made a courier. But, yeah, you get the gist. All right. Pangolier, just kind of keep an eye on Kongor. 21 seconds until respawn. It's like Punk is going to also keep his eyes on it too. Team Tickles saying, this is my Roshan. Don't come into my base. This is my Rosh. Y'all can suck it. 5 more seconds left. Looks like they might not even need it if they get a pick off on that Puck over there behind the Kongor. Or Roche, excuse me. Kongor is from Heroes of New Earth, by the way. Dota 1 came out. After Dota 1 was moved to G server, which everybody attempted to play, it was destructive, man. If you disconnected, you couldn't reconnect in Dota 1. So Heroes of New Earth had that ability, so everybody switched to Han. And then Dota 2 came out, and then it just looked so pretty. Oh, Puck did come in. It's going to possibly get picked off here. Does get hit by the, Scream, a devoted Terror down. Puck gone. Despite being magic immune, unable to survive. The Pangoliers also nuked down. And looks like this Lucent Beam here might have did the pick off. Nope, it looks like everything kind of went the way of Quamp. So Quamp just rocked mid, out-leveled, outscaled, and outplayed. Now... GG has been called. I will say Thompson on Puck did roll Anna on Quap. So higher end play, it is very possible for Puck to push off that Quap pretty heavily. But it looks like that Quap just outskilled in every way. Despite actually, in my opinion, losing some of the early laning phase. in the mid just because of the mobility, but despite having rune control in the puck, was not able to do a lot of that harass. You see 2-2, 0-2, 0-4, 0-5, 0-4. There was only 2 kills picked up, and that was from the puck, unfortunately. That stings. That stings. I don't like games this close. Oh, that's terrible. Yeah, they did. They made it super easy. Oh, yeah, Cast HR versus Navi? Sure. Native Vincier versus the Hellraisers. Let's see how this goes. You want me to start over, or you want me to just kind of jump where it's at now? Your call. All right, so I haven't seen a lot of this fight quite yet. Let's start from the beginning, kind of see how the laning phase went out. We do have Medusa's 2 farmed already. Are you kidding me? 243 last hits on the Kunkka. Ursa's going to have a hard time dealing with this. Ursa's going to be the only one that's going to be able to take down the Kunkka. Excuse me, Ursa's going to be the only one to be able to take down the Medusa. Ursa is basically like an anti-tank, and then, you know, Medusa's basically the queen of tanks on top of DPS. Looks like we got a few people in Dota TV spitballing over here, but look at that split farm that she's able to do with no problem. Everything melts. I feel like Medusa's just going to carry this. If, just looking at it right now, I don't know what the last hit is for. Let's check out KDR. 5-1 on the Quap. She definitely went mid. Was probably mid up against the... probably up against... No, Kunkka's on her team. Okay, so it's going to be another Quap versus Puck scenario. Now, man, that's kind of a rough life. Not enough kills led on the Medusa. Looks like she's 0-1-3, but at the same time, her job is to get as much farm and get as fat as possible. It looks like we're 23 minutes in, and we just saw one of the tier 1 towers die, so it's not like there's been a whole lot of team fight and then, like, Rick-rolling on to people. We do have a smoke coming up. It looks like Ursa's going to be frontlining this. Does the Bear have a Blink Dagger? He does not. So that's very ineffective when it comes to Ursa, in my opinion. They have another set of lockdown coming in from the Grimstroke, as well as the Dream Coil. So Dream Coil is going to be the setup for the Bear to be viable. Looks like a BKB and TP out for the Kunkka. Illusionary Orb on the tree. How did he move over there? Was he glimpsed? Is there a disruptor in the game? There is a disruptor in the game, so he was actually glimpsed back. Let's see what's going on down here. We got a Night Stalker who's typically banned nowadays, mainly because of that giant silence. There's not a lot you can do once you're inside of that bubble, especially at nighttime. Timing for Natural Night isn't for another like 20 seconds, so he's casted his ulti to go ahead and get this over with. Might get an easy pick off on this Medusa. Medusa unable to cast her ultimate. Loses all the mana options that she possibly had. Not enough mana to sustain and actually be able to cast off that ulti. That would have been a really good disengagement for her, but unfortunately it looks like it just didn't happen. So we have 6-2 on an Ursa. So Ursa's being fed significantly by a lot of a lot of kills. Well, Medusa, fairly fat. She hasn't reached a critical point yet, but once she does pick up this Scotty, that's going to be pretty viable. I'm not always the biggest fan of the Dragonlance. Looks like that's pretty common lately, though. Dragonlance, just going into the shop, you still only up with like a 2K scenario. That is still 10 points towards your Scotty. I'd rather personally be a little bit closer towards the Scotty, but range is pretty significant on her. It does help whenever you're going to do the split farming scenario. Let's see what comes up. All right, so let's look at everybody's build so far. So that's basically your slow. Make sure no one can run off. Plus, at the mana break, it's really detrimental to the Medusa. If he was to go into a Manta, not super common, but that does help up against a Medusa. Disruptor does have that Solar Crest, just negative armor, just try to help melt people faster. Definitely going to be used on a Medusa, which sit in a 24+2. We have the Puck, does have the Witchblade, quick pickup on the Dart. Oh, he popped that Quap. That's another thing about his AoE being such a big silence. That crippling fear doesn't allow Quap to move around. If he picks up a Blink Dagger, he'll pick up those kills a lot faster. Not to say he's having any trouble at all. He is 6-2 at this point. We do have another silence coming in the way Rubik unable to move. Looks like that Nature's Grasp on the Treant, and a boat's gonna do unfortunately nothing. What is the Night Stalker doing? Did not have his fear up. A quick engage and disengage. Does get caught up in that Disruptor ulti. Pops her Manta. Is picked off. Does not need splash damage of any kind to still pick out the right one. Looks like he was able to kill all three one way or the other. That Ursa is a very tough monster right now. Let's check out Grimstroke. Grimstroke currently sitting on just mana regen, but the Yules is a great way to engage and disengage, buying you a little bit of time, buying you a little bit of space. Crippling Fear Boy over here, he is taking full advantage of that, especially in a game up against a Quappa, Rubik, Medusa, if you went into also, just to make space for the bear. Let's see, Medusa. Dragonlance does finish the Scotty. That's a pretty quick Scotty. We saw it, I think she was 3K down. She is very farm heavy. So if she does significantly more and able to pick up a lot more on that Scotty, make that kind of turnaround, man, I want to say she's going to be able to do a lot more in this team fight scenario, but it's still rough. You have a 3K lead, despite it only being, I mean, it's 26 to 11. So 26 to 11, kill lead scenario, it's very one-sided, but it's only a 4K gold lead. They are going to commit the boat again in here. That Kunkka is very splash happy. Oh, Dream Coil leashed up. Does pick up the Quap. Quap unable to move anywhere. This is kind of her nightmare. Unfortunately, no follow-up for that. Medusa utilizes her ulti just to try to get a disengagement. Fear being used on the Night Stalker. If Treant dies, nobody cares. Why would you waste that ultimate, that beautiful ultimate, on a Treant? So Treant, for the most part, typically played as a position 4-5. You don't want to waste your large ultis. He's sitting at 112. It's not like he's a big threat in the team fight. He's not really a big threat for the most part. Just way underwhelming right now, way underleveled. Is really nothing but just like a meat tank. Able to put some kind of a... His heal is beneficial to an extent, which is the living armor. It does give bonus armor. That kind of counteracts the solar crest, but not a whole lot. Unfortunately, I don't see a lot of spells being stolen by the Rubik. Rubik currently sitting at, looks like 2-8. Man, everything is going to be lying inside of this Medusa when it comes to the team. Oh, Hellraisers. Oh, man. Ursa does pop his big boy. No ulti on the Ursa, none on the Disruptor. Night Stalker missing his too. It is nighttime, so it's not like he cares. It's, you know, he's good place. We have 5-man smoke coming in to regain control of that jungle. See how he goes. Trying to disrupt that Ursa. Oh, little quick rotation. They do know that they come in from the jungle. The boat is committed once again into the pit. Looks like they're going to commit the Scream too. Medusa does come in and engage with her Scream. Unfortunately, she was pulled back too far to allow that extra space to tackle somebody down. Ursa is going to take a lot of this right-click damage. Does not pick up the Aegis. Aegis sitting on the Kunkka. They engaged and they won that team fight really rather well. I haven't seen to see who's actually playing which characters yet. Let's do a little bit of that, because I want to kind of curious. All right, V-Tune sitting on the Ursa, Solo on team, sitting on the Disruptor. No one on the Puck. Aloha, Grimstroke, General. Hold on. Oh, just General. Okay, cool. General sitting on top of that Night Stalker. Watson on the Medusa. Rebel sitting on the Kunkka. Limitless is the Quamp. Gilger on the Rubik. And Madeline on the Treant Protector. So Team Na'Vi coming this way. The old school superheroes used to have Dendy as well as Poppy from Team Secret. Have a big name to live up to. Hellraisers still trying to make a name for themselves. Not saying they're out. They're a very high quality team. They're making big plays for themselves. They're making big moves, but unfortunately, still a little bit behind compared to some of these more veteran names. How do you call it? They may look very, yeah. Some of these bigger names, these bigger corporations that own some of these teams, there's a big difference in the quality. Hellraiser's still very viable, though. Mainly because that Medusa just needs so much farm. It looked, like I said, 1K lead. Let's see who's got the current net worth. Ooh, Kunkka Medusa taking over. She's got a beautiful pair on the Radiant side. 31-12. It looks like that's going to be shifting, especially if they're able to get that much space to pick up the farm that they need to pick up. Possible team fight coming up here. Kunkka, gonna walk around, does have Aegis and Bottle. Wanting to use that for sure. What to do, what to do. Looks like blink. I wouldn't use the blink while sitting in the enemy jungle because that removes your ability to blink out of there in the need be. She does commit the scream despite BKB being used. Kunkka not around, even though he has the Aegis and should probably be the front man on this. They went ahead and threw up the Disruptor ulti just to try to tag down that Rubik. Actually, scratch that. That was not Disruptor ulti. That was just a crippling fear. Unfortunately, that is a tough pill and cookie to swallow. Let's go ahead and let the override camera handle some of this. Ooh. Puck just so violent. I hate this override camera sometimes. All right, so going back to the KDR, it looks like Puck is sitting 10-1. Ursa sitting at 10-3. So team fight quality, I mean, definitely going the way of the Radiant. When it comes to absolute farm, I mean, you're definitely looking at the dire side. So there is going to be a shift coming as we start going into this later game. A lot of it's going to be dependent heavily on the Night Stalker's farm, which it looks like he's basically got an Echo Saber, he's got a Basher, and might be going, oh man, are you kidding me right now? Not my choice, but yeah, let's see what he does with that. A little curious as to this build here. Through the Straight Racers into his backpack. Everything melts so fast. Looks like Ursa went ahead and left one behind. That's going to nerf his own camps later on when he needs it. See who's running in. Got a smoke gank coming in. Looks like he's going to disengage. Disruptor had a really good idea. They might pick up just this Grimstroke. Depending on, oh, it looks like Grimstroke was able to disengage as well. Got a 10-man smoke scenario going on here. Everybody's smoking nowadays. Solo frontlining as a Disruptor. Probably not the greatest idea. I don't mind sending the Puck in. He does have a certain amount of disengage. Really quick movements. Looks like they're going to get the Disruptor. Going to pull back to Rubik. Rubik does not actually die. Quap does commit her scream. Does get caught up in a Dream Coil. Looks like the Ursa's trying to pull himself back. Does not right click. Does he have any kind of regeneration? He does not have any HP or lifesteal. Looks like the Night Stalker's going to jump on top of that Quap, not letting her disengage. Just going to start right clicking this Medusa. Medusa's mana pocket just way too high, sitting at 495. Not able to take down this Medusa. We said a little bit ago, you know, coming into this, we knew exactly what was going on. Everything was going to be dependent on that Medusa. Medusa does pick up another 1,000 gold, making her significantly more lethal. And I think this is probably going to be GG. Praise them as being able, oh yeah, for sure. HR lineup mostly come from, really? Yeah. Denny was amazing. I still love, yeah. Oh, no. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I totally believe in it, and it comes down to that Medusa. I completely agree with you on that. Yeah, exactly. 37-15 and only a 2K lead. I absolutely feel like HR is going to be the winner on this side, especially with that Medusa getting the farm that she's been getting. So, like I was saying, it's just going to be a switch over. As soon as we hit that 30-minute mark, you know, you're going to see a big fat switch when it comes to Medusa. She does set it on her Butterfly. She's got her Scotty done. She doesn't have her Manta. The Dragon Lance, like I said, it does add a little bit of additional range and stats, but it's not really what I would necessarily go for. You can get some fatter items, but it still looks really good on top of her. She's going to swap out her Magic Wand and pick up a BKB. So that's probably going to be endgame, actually, for them. They'll probably be able to push up in the tier 3s as soon as she gets her BKB. Who's Dende here? Dende's not in here. Silly people. He's not playing Pudge games. Oh, yeah, but I absolutely believe in that, too. Oh, that BKB is done. So does she eat her eggs or Moonshard first? Because she's got a lot of coin. I mean, obviously you're going to want to save for buyback, but she's extremely lethal. They're letting her just farm all day long. She's getting more than enough space to be able to carry this game in the end game. That BKB gets placed on top of her. All they need to do is smoke and the blink on top of them. She'll be able to 5-man wipe pretty easy. Especially if Treant's there to get a ultimate off on top of it. Engage. Looks like Quap's might get a pick off on the Disruptor. Unfortunately, looks like, oh, he gets denied. Good job. General does get the 9, man. Good job. Like, I wish I could tip people. So the deny on the disruptor, pretty big. Looks like they got another pick off on Rubik. Missed it, but it's just another Rubik. If I had to guess, he got feared and died. Let's check out. No, crippling fear isn't used. I don't know where he died. But, well, actually, we can double click it. Oh, he died here. They're pinging to go ahead and push in this tier 2 top. Let's see how that runs. Puck leaving one behind, but he also left behind the Kunkka. So, yeah, I would leave behind too. Good job. Kunkka being able to X marks the spot. You just use your illusionary orb. Unless he picked up, yeah, he only has the blink dagger. He did not go for the blink dagger and Yule's combo. That blink dagger and Yule's, it's basically infinite survivability. You end up with Yule's, put it on yourself. You can always just make sure you get your time tick down on your blink dagger and get out of dodge. Puck is kind of flying all over this map, though. Very difficult to keep down the puck. Right? They really should. They really should. Like, what, cash or not, like, if I could just give them, like, something to say, like, yo, good job right there. I mean, but at the same time, I can see how it's disruptive to the game because then they might see a whole bunch of that crap floating up. And they already know they're good. Like, nobody on Hellraiser is wondering whether or not they're considered, like, a top-tier gamer. Like, do they really need the ego? Maybe. But I would personally like to high-five some of those moments. Little taunt coming out of the Kunkka. Scoping out the Roche. Now, we know it's 55 seconds. They do not. Unless they're screen sniping, which I guess they could screen snipe, actually, for Roche specifically. Be the only reason why you'd actually do it. It looks like nothing's really going on. Let's look at some of the builds. Looks like Ursa finishes BKB. He's going... Looking at the MKB. Who did pick up the Butterfly? That's to help stop against the Medusa Butterfly. He probably doesn't want to spend all that money just to stop that Butterfly. But he's going to anyway. Solar Crest has already been done for a while. Disruptor did pick up the Ghost Scepter. Do not forget from not dealing with the right click. Same with the Puck. Just does not want to get right click down. Yule's picked up on the Grimstroke. He can basically put that on... let's see, double checking. No, 8 seconds left. They just missed it. Looks like they're going to run up a little bit here. He's going to give up vision of himself. So they know he's smoked. Or, yeah, they know he's smoked. Ooh, counter smoke coming in. Looks like Disruptor's saying to let it wrap into their midsection. They're going to send some illusions. Illusions very difficult to deal with. Medusa's illusions are really annoying. Just so much push so fast. You can basically farm for free anywhere now. I just had to hover over that because I wanted to hear it. Kunkka with the taunt. Looks like no one's really doing anything. They're just kind of staring at each other. This is a stare off. All right, let's go back to Puck. He just had a blink and ethereal. Yules. I always love seeing the ether lens being picked up on a Grimstroke. Just probably one of the first items to pick up. Looks like Night Stalker, despite having so many kills, it looks really underwhelming when it comes to the actual items. He's still barely sitting on top of that Skull Basher, still sitting on top of an Echo Saber. Things that are, Skull Basher you want to have developed, or at least something else developed alongside it. Echo Saber eventually gets replaced whenever you're, pretty much 6-slotted out. Instead, was forced into a BKB. Medusa completely 6-slot at this point. Has enough for buyback. Might consider... eating a shard at this point, or even eating an axe, finishing up the Dragon Lance. Looks like she might go and get in the Blink Dagger, and she's going to probably pick up that Swift Blink. So that's going to be some bonus agility that she's going to get, plus a lot of momentum and mobility. So she can blink in there, ulti, force the team fight to be spread. She becomes her own really vicious Tidebringer, and then just starts laying paint all over the place. Grim causing damage, not knowing it, but they felt it. Oh, blink coming out from the Puck. Just get out of dodge there. More illusions. Just lane push like crazy. Now, the Roche pit is complete. Roche is up. So they're fighting around this. There's vision pretty much on both teams. Everybody knows that it is absolutely due, and they'll know that it's due guaranteed here shortly. Oh, looks like Puck's going to come in, does drop the illusionary orb. Looks like they're going to go ahead and pop the disruptor, hold that quap in place. They are leashed together. Not a whole lot going team fight wise. A lot of right click and a beef. Disruptor does drop the ults on top of a BK bead and blink daggered. Oh, scratch that. How did she get out of there? Not 100% sure. She got blinked down somehow. I'm assuming Rubik was able to move her around. Really don't have a good idea on that. Oh, looks like Force Staff. Good job, Rubik. Force Staff out. It was just the animation for that looked really weird. Really? Oh, he picked up the Dagon Ethereal. Instantly pushes Quap out of dodge. She can't stick around for that. That shit stings. Illusionary Orb catching vision. Grim's going to have to show up to this fight because they're going to try to take Kongor. Now, with this Medusa, as fat as she is, if she gets Kongor on her chest, man, or excuse me, Roche, she picks up that Aegis, there's a lot of pain that's going to come their way. They're not going to have an answer for this at all. Disruptor quickly made word of. Trying to kite out the bear as much as humanly possible. Ursa doing damage on that Quap. Quap already had expelled her ulti. She's going to come back in. A lot of scary boats flying around. I would like to see the boats turn into buses at some point too. Just because I just think it'd be hilarious to see a giant bus or a train. BKB used on the Kunkka. Looks like a quick jump on the Ursa. Ursa unable to follow up with the kill. They are going to get enough crowd control down to keep that puck to death. Medusa does utilize her Scream. Ulti out. Another buyback from the Rubik. Another buyback from the puck, Disruptor, and Ursa. Just keeping this team fight going. This might be the last team fight of the game. Laying pain on the Ursa, says the Medusa. Take him down. Does not blink out of there. Does she ever blink? She has one more second to re-engage. It looks like they're going to try to push into this Roche pit. It's very difficult to fight into the Roche pit knowing that you already lost the Roche pit fight. Don't have the ability to actually take them down in the first place. Expelled 3 buybacks. Don't want to turn buybacks into diebacks. But at the same time, it looks like Hellraisers aren't willing to jump in and just own who they are. I feel like they would have no problem taking this despite not having the Kunkka. And instead, they're going to give it to the fast-dropping Ursa. Ursa's going to drop that thing so quick. Fear was not utilized, but they did turn it tonight. Medusa did jump out of there. Kongor has been slain. Of course, it goes to Ursa. Medusa did retire herself up to the high ground. Puck is just trying to get out of there. Trian's sitting in invisibility. Ursa's got a brand new life in his bag with that Aegis. The mana pull, oh man, I hate this game sometimes. Mana pull slightly going down inside of Medusa. Medusa does drop. She is buyback ready. She's got 96 seconds, but she can come back pretty easily if she needs to. But they drop the Medusa and use the Aegis to get a tier 2. They're going to try to probably push this into tier 3. If they start tagging up to tier 3, man, they could go one way or the other. Buyback on the Medusa. You do have the Grim down, so there goes leashing everybody up. Ursa's sitting at like a little bit less than half life. Doesn't have any type of regen. Just put the Basher back in. By regen, I meant lifesteal, not cheese. This cheese is absolutely regen. This Ethereal Blade Dagon combo, though, did give me the giggles. It looks like Medusa's still not going to give up her gold just to come back despite losing Barracks and Rex. Kunkka's just having a good old time, ain't he? Did Kunkka just buy boots? I think I just saw Kunkka buy boots. Tell me those are boots coming in. Oh, Kunkka just bought boots. I love this game so much. What did I just witness? I'm assuming he sold his other boots, maybe? I don't know. I got to recap. At the end of this, I got to scroll all the way back and see if Kunkka didn't buy boots for 46 minutes. He is so slow. I mean, he's got like a 310 move speed, I guess. Well, a 45 here, so I guess he's faster than your average. But for Kunkka to buy 46, 45-minute boots, what the shit? All right, so we got a lot more farm. Let's see where the net worth is sitting at. She is still so fat. Oh, man. So she's sitting, let's see, Medusa's sitting off at 6'4", so she's definitely positive. Oh, yeah, this is definitely intense. I am loving every second of this. Because I feel like it could still go either way. Like, it's really team-centric. Who gets the better pick off? And I feel like a lot of this, though, is that Night Stalker silence. See, there that is. That Night Stalker comes in, just makes Rubik basically worthless. Rubik able to disengage. They did spit out the Sonic Wave. Night Stalker immediately buying back. He's on his way back as fast as possible. That Ursa just trying to make work of that Medusa. Just the anti-tank ability. They did disrupt her back into the ulti. She does still have buyback, though. Did she utilize her BKB? Yeah, she did. And she's down to a 6-second BKB. Looks like no one's going to get his way back to base. So that's just a Medusa kill and a buyback on a Rubik. That's already a tough existence as it is. I guess so. I guess Na'Vi is doing it. They now have a 10K net worth lead. At this point, I feel like Medusa is not going to be anywhere near as viable. When it was even and even, there's a pretty decent chance. But team fight quality-wise, you can tell who's leading in the team fight just based on the actual kill ratio. But Medusa, man, she had such a good advantage there for a brief moment. She still might be able to do it. She's holding on to that money for something. What does she have queued up? She does still have the Swiftling queued up, which is going to give her the ability to, like I said, initiate Tide Hunter style, jump in, ultimate, BKB, but she's got to get back into this game. So total cost left, she's looking at 2,800 plus a 1,750, so should be able to buy that Swift Link now for that initiation. Oh, wow, that is crazy by 3K. Damn, and you know Quap was mid too. Quap was definitely mid, but she's supposed to make room for her position 1 character, which is definitely going to be the, her Medusa. See if Medusa picked up. I want to see that Swift Blink though. I want to see if that combo is going to make that big of a difference. So I want to know if that Swift Blink comes in. What do you give up for the Swift Blink though as the Medusa? I guess you let go of the boots. No, I'm sorry. That actually is going to go straight onto her Blink Dagger. No way. Did you see what you just queued up right here? You know what those two make, right? Hey, man, what's up, Mr. Fuzzy Elf? Just watching some Dota, man. Just casting a little bit, having a good day. How you doing? Oh, that was such a good stun and TP out. Like, so that's another high five, people, man. That was friggin' nuts. Oh, dude, for real. I can't wait to see the Rapier. I don't know what was his name. General Bulldog used to get Rapier on Gyrocopter back in the day, all the fucking time. This is Team Na'Vi versus Hellraisers. It's the DPC, so it's like the higher end professional circuit. It's just for points and stuff to actually make it to TI. Hellraiser's been putting up one hell of a fight. It's definitely been some shit this morning. Like, it's been kind of back and forth. This gold lead, I mean, I can pull up the swing. I mean, there was a point, man, it was just one way and then the next. I mean, it's been kind of all over the place. Medusa's like super fat farmed, but she's just having a rough time getting her way into like the right positioning, it looks like. So she finally picked up a Blink Dagger. I thought she was going to go Swift Blink, but it looks like she gave up the Swift Blink. She gave up her boots to pick up some more bonus damage. And it looks like she's going straight into Daedalus. They probably told her, don't get the Rapier. She got yelled at for queuing up Rapier. That's definitely what happened right there. She had a Rapier put up. IG versus RNG game 3. No, was it good? Really? Oh, dude. I might actually queue that one up and just watch that one for fun. I love all stupid dope. Anything with a Rapier in like a high-end game, like the blood instantly starts to flow. But Na'Vi, it's you know, Team Russian basically. Ooh, jump on the tree ant. They got plenty of vision on him. Looks like they did drop the Disruptor ulti on top of the Medusa again. Ursa's trying to peg her down. If Ursa drops her down, she does have buyback. She's going to jump back into it. Ursa makes quick work of the Quap. Shurian's bought back too. We got a full team fight coming here. It's a lot of beef. Medusa does get her ulti off. Does not have to worry about a Disruptor ulti at this point. She is laying work. Makes quick work of the Disruptor. Grimstroke. Unfortunately, the Ursa is still up. disengagement from the Ursa as well as the Night Stalker. They're going to go back and just wait for the cooldowns and just come back in again. They don't have to kill everybody, but they did force buybacks, and now they're going to be able to just free farm back there with no real worries. A lot of space made, a lot. I mean, you only lost, what, Grim and Disruptor? But that space made for her, man. Oh, she queued it back up anyway. She queued it back up anyway. I'm really I really hope she goes in that full rapier mode. A lot of bonus farm coming out from those illusions. Trying to get vision. And, oh, no way. Oh, okay, never mind. They got a minute and 5 seconds. I thought it was 5 seconds. Ooh, they did get a fine on the Puck. He is silenced thanks to that Grim. They're throwing him down. Puck does use that Ghost Scepter. Unfortunately, there's still enough magic damage to possibly take him out, but he is already out of there. Puck was able to move off to the left really well. He is gonzo. At what point in time to use your TP when you've gone as far as you possibly can, it looks like. Invictus Gaming, I'm a big fan of. Yeah, dude, no joke. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Invictus Gaming. Invictus Gaming is like another old school team, just like Na'Vi. Not as far back as Na'Vi, I think. And Na'Vi did pull that off pretty well. What's on no one? Oh, them jukes. But still, oh, that Lincoln Sphere. Who's he got the Lincoln for? Well, not necessarily for the slow, for the Quap. Might not want to give up Dream Coil to the Rubik. Doesn't really have to worry a whole lot about anybody else. Doesn't want to get, pulled back from the Conka either. Illusionary Orb just misses the Conka Orb. Oh, but they pick it up with the Night Stalker. He's probably really excited. Ursa immediately jumps in. Doesn't give anybody a chance to think about it. They commit the boat right away. They do get it on the Puck. A secondary boat comes in. He does have that Refresher Orb still in his inventory. Not on cooldown. Ursa picks it up. Looks like they're going to give the cheese to the Night Stalker, and it is a Disruptor, Death, and Bounce. Worth it. Yeah, I'll lose a position 5 for an Ursa. I mean, yeah, for Ursa to pick up in ages. Damn. What did he put in his inventory? Oh, so he threw his phase boots off to the side. He's just going to use his Blink Dagger for... Man, that's I don't know if that's necessarily the smartest idea. He doesn't have an Orb of Corrosion or any other really good lockdown. And it looks, well, they still have the Dream Coil up, which is what they've been comboing a lot of this off of. That Dream Coil on top of it, on top of that Ursa, has been landing them a lot of bonus kills. Medusa sitting on her ulti and does have the Rapier. I wouldn't want to show that off just yet. She's already got like a target on her head super hard, but they have to go up without this Disruptor alive. This Disruptor ulti has been what's nuking her down. That lockdown, that silence, she basically gets stuck in this rut. She doesn't have any kind of lifesteal for return sustainability. I think I would have rather gone like a Satanic in this case rather than going into that, because you don't get a lot of survivability. Granted, you're going to be able to pick off and get some kills, but yeah, hell yeah, I'm down for disrupt this Dark Rapier Gaming. Let's go ahead. I'm going to just double click Medusa. I'm going to see if we can just follow exactly what she's doing. Let's go to player view, double click. Nope, I don't want to do that. Let's go to the Medusa. Come on. See what she sees. I'm a little curious. What would I do? What would you do? I would poop. Well, because she chose to back. Don't let them see your Rapier. They can see it off your illusions, too. All right, going back to free camera mode because she is running away. Obviously, those illusions still able to do a lot of work. Look at how beautiful that is animation-wise. It's a lot. Illusionary Orb just poking into it. This might be the last fight. I'm really curious. See this Medusa. Man, don't blink in too early. You don't need that extra little farm. There's no amount of kills you can get right now that's going to give you any kind of benefit in that case. That Blink Dagger into your ultimate is going to be worth so much more. How much more farm do you really need this late in the game? 56 minutes in. There's nothing you could really farm in the next 30 seconds that's going to be worth more than your life, especially when you're the one holding the Rapier. Keep that Blink Dagger refresher. It's got a halberd. Nice little refresher there. I do like the refresher. It's slightly annoying. I wouldn't mind seeing that actual Ags picked up on him. Because that the way the torrent looks, that torrent storm, super dope to watch, just in general. Looks like out of smoke. They know that they're sitting inside the base, though. The smoke really isn't for a whole lot, but they probably just, yeah, they're just going to rotate and try to get this kill on Quap. If they get a pick off on Quap, they're in a lot of trouble. Quap utilizing her flash farming abilities. It looks like they're going to go in. That fear is going to hold her still. She does have a BKB, so that she's still able to cast out. Does throw the scream for a little bit of that pushback. Are they going to commit the Dream Coil? They do not. That Dream Coil should have been used. Unfortunately, or fortunately for her, they don't. Puck comes in immediate. Oh, that combo is so stupid. Oh, man. So that was the quickest Ethereal and Dagon combo. And just click, click, boom. So damn fast. Oh. Rubik's not going to come back. I feel like Rubik has been slightly underwhelming this game. And that's kind of unfortunate. There's some pretty decent things you want to steal. Dream Coil. Disruptor ulti. What does he commit here? Looks like a blink jumped on. Does top the BKB. Return BKB coming back from... She did get her ulti off. Oh, man. They are linked together. Looks like the Rubik is going to die again. Quap does go down. They have the silence sitting on top of a BKB. Kunkka. Kunkka not really worrying about the silence at this point, but can he get some right clicks out? Medusa's kiting the best she can, utilizing the crap out of her Scotty. Might be losing. There goes the rapier. That was their Hail Mary. It stings. It stings. It stings. I feel like GG should be called at this point. It's rather unfortunate. I really was looking for Hellraisers to kind of take some of this. That combo again, just eating everyone who tastes that Dagon alive. Just stings so much. Cheese was eaten. Not that it was necessary. Medusa did DC. She's mad. Well, she did everything she possibly could, I guess. It was Dagon. I don't know if that was the right call. But I do need to check something. Okay, so he did buy... Okay, so Kunkka bought phase boots early on. Sold them, and then bought phase boots. I'm not talking smack about Hellraisers, but that was definitely like, oh, crap. I hope nobody noticed that. We did. But that's all right. So she ended up giving up her boots. So she lost a little bit of mobility there. Itemization-wise, I feel like that Swift Blink might have been a little bit more benefit just because you end up with so much more attack speed. BKB, unfortunately, was basically sitting at 6 the entire time. She had to use that every freaking 2 seconds, anytime she could, basically. Can't really see a whole lot. Once the bear was able to pick up the MKB, that easily countered the butterfly, so that bonus agility didn't do a whole lot for. I think if she would have gone heavier into like a satanic, would have been a bigger HP pool. Also, she would have had a lot more regen that the bear didn't have, so anything that's been tagged onto the bear basically just, it sticks essentially. So she would have had a second life and an infinite Aegis as long as she had that the satanic sitting there. Kunkka, I don't think there's a whole lot Kunkka could have done. That Scythe of Ice was probably beneficial in the beginning. Unfortunately, it tapers off because everybody's got BKBs, and it's really hard to find anybody to tag down. Plus, it's if there's any kind of muting, Quap, she kind of tapered off into nothing. Like you said earlier, like Grimstroke basically outfarmed the Quap at one point. She ended up kind of tapering down. Look, he was just unfortunately like a feeder. Not his fault, but he got picked into a Night Stalker, and Night Stalkers basically just eat Rubik's. That's free food. And then at one point in time, Puck wanted a bite of his own because he picked up this Aetherblade Dagon build, and he also just liked eating Rubik's. Like, Rubik is what the meat was for dinner. Solar Crest, a little underwhelming. Not a whole lot you can do considering the high agility and the high strength. Solar Crest tapers off. That is a really great item for super early game. A little bit of movement speed, a little bit of mana generation, but Solar Crest is just definitely like an early game item. After that, your Treant's basically just a walking meat shield. He can put a little bit of additional armor on you, possibly get you some heals, but with the silence that came out of here, It's terrible. Braum versus Entity? Yeah, absolutely. Let's go see this here. Let's find the Braum versus Entity. Where is it at? Where's the game at? Is it Division 2? Oh, okay. Never mind. That makes sense. Championship League. Hey, Braum versus Entity. Let's throw this up. Another beautiful game of Dota. Thanks for joining me, by the way. You two, Senior Fuzzy Elf. All right, let's start with best way to go. Let's last hits and nice, kind of see how the mid went. Looks like it was probably going to be Kunkka versus the Quap. Looks like it went pretty evenly, 76, 75. A little bit of the harass coming in. X marks the spot on top of the IO. IO is going to be paired up for some reason with, is that a carry Ogre Magi? Because if it is, that's amazing. You don't see that ever. Ogre Magi typically just played as a position 4 or 5 spellcaster. Not something that you really see paired up with an IO, except for that one brief moment. Let's see what we got. Last hits coming in. Razor's coming up pretty well, so he's going to be pretty farm friendly. So you got 2 fat farmers sitting on the Radiant side. Only one, which is basically the Kunk on the Dire. The Venomancer typically gets a significant amount of farm, only sitting on the 27. Did not go heavy into any, I mean, it looks like just poison attack. So he is very ganky. Once he gets 5 stacks on top of you, you're in a lot of shit there. Another Disruptor game. What's amazing is I'm not seeing Tide. I am in love with that. I'm not seeing a lot of Tide today. I see too many Tidebringer games. It's always just slow and sluggish. Not the greatest. I like Tide, but it's too many. Oh, boat being committed onto the Ogre Magi. Ogre Magi overextending his bounce by far. He is not a right clicker at all. He is initiator by only ignite. He does a lot of little catch up harass with a slow. Might be able to get pickoffs and do some damage with his stun, but the Bloodlust is probably one of his biggest highlights as a support hero. Should not have been in that location. Viper still able to get the pickoff. I don't know how many stacks he got on top of there, but Bane, Kunkka, as well as the Disruptor do go down. Faceless Void, if he is free farming, they're going to end up in a little bit of trouble later. Faceless Void, unfortunately, though, looks like it's sitting at 21 last hits, being 10 minutes in. That comes out to 2 last hits per minute. I mean, math sucks. Math sucks. I don't know what I would do. Like that is he is playing a very boring game of Dota right now. That's his life, right there. I don't let you want to watch it closer. This is what he's got to do for the next 30 minutes to be viable. Does not have his Mask of Madness yet. For some reason, win a Glove of Haste. Mask of Madness is what allows him to do any kind of ganking at level 6. Looks like they're going to drop the Disruptor ulti on top of the Razor. Razor does have. Ooh, Sonic Wave backup from the Quap. She comes in to try to do some cleanup. Io, unfortunately, was not able to leash onto anybody. Mainly do that Fiend's Grip from the Bane. And he's able to tether himself by himself out of there. Viper going in underneath Tier 1 tower. Does get X marks the spot and boated. And here comes... This is fun. Ogre Magi just jumping underneath the tower. Now, the best part about Ogre Magi, 7.9 natural HP regen on his own at level 8. That HP regen is ridiculous for anybody on their own. I play a lot of Ogre Magi. I actually earned my Arcana. That was one of my favorite facts about him is just this high HP regen. Really tanky in the early lane. He doesn't need a ring of health. He just kind of brings his own. If you give him a ring of health, he just becomes his viable meat shield. So looking at some of the build items, we have Kaya sitting on the Quap. That's not too terrible. She's gone her way. We do have a Falcon Blade. Very early pickup for most people. Usually ends up being sold. A lot of people pick it up for the extra HP, a little bit of mana regen, a little bit of damage. It's a really good item, but don't fall in love with it because it eventually goes in the trash. You do have a Viper who just got smoked up. Really heavy ganker. Does have an Earnest Shadows to help basically slow and take people down from catching too many stacks. 5 stacks off of this poison attack ultimately means you're very likely to be dead. The Ignite coming off of the Ogre Magi does not have his best friend Bloodlusted though. 2 and 1 and Bloodlust him. Bloodlust him. Make him hit faster. Come on, be a friend. This Ogre Magi is pissing me off. Go on, buddy. Go on, buddy. You got the mana for it. And he lets the Viper farm without getting buffed. What a prick. I mean, I just, if you're gonna play somebody like that, be friendly with your spells and don't worry about it. Like, show some love. So it looks like IO's gonna be like pocket tethering for this Quap. Not really common. I would like to see that more on the Razor. I'm assuming that's what happened during the laning phase. Disruptor does have Tranquil Boots. Looks like Razor did pick up a quick kill on a Nature's Prophet. Nature's Prophet usually just an annoying person to have to deal with in general. A lot of Rat Dota going to come out the side of the Braum here eventually. You do have the Kunkka who's coming up. He does have Phase Boots. Hopefully he won't sell and buy them again like the last game. Still kind of giggle worthy for me. It's going straight for like a Shadow Blade build. It looks like he's going to go up and just want to like one-shot and crit people later on. Silver Edge on top of a Daedalus. It's just a nightmare to deal with. That dude just goes invisible, walks up, smacks you in the face, takes half of your health, and then X marks the spots him back instantly after he smacks you in the face. It's just a pain in the ass. We do have Faceless Void. Free farming does pick up Morbid Mask. Is on his way, hopefully, to his Hand of Midas. Mask of Madness. You can't do anything without Mask of Madness. All right, screw it. It looks like Disruptor rocking his invisibility. Does get vision on the Quap. Doesn't do anything there, despite having a way to glimpse. Looks like he was out of range for the glimpse. But he's going to go ahead and let him stay back. Not like he really wanted to be there in the first place. He is sitting in enemy territory during that scenario. I wouldn't want to be there either. I'd be terrified. Looks like he's going to bounce. Man, I'm still surprised he's going the Hand of Midas build. That's very not common. Doesn't really benefit you too much when it comes to landing your Chronosphere. He's just going to sit there and be a little bit farm heavy as best he can. Nature's Prophet does come up with a set of drums. A little bit of movement speed. Not the biggest fan of drums for the most part on Nature's Prophet. I like to see a lot more things that make you viable ganky. Like, he looks like he's going to finally go into his Orchid of Malevolence, but I would also consider, hopefully, Quap is unable to blink. She is Fiend's gripped and stuck there, and that is the ultimate pain. Looks like Io just ended up in a very bad spot as well. Viper's going to come in, and it's going to be Viper. See, now that's one thing. If you have all of your friends that can actually help during a Chronosphere, unfortunately that's not the case. They're going to still be able to pick up this kill on the Kunkka. Razor, very difficult to deal with. How much did he steal? He only stole 75 of that, despite having a level 4 sitting on a static link. Bane coming up. He bought, I guess he went off. He's going to be going for his Aether Lens. I'm going to go with the, let's change this to direct to camera for a little bit, and let's see some of the net worth. You're looking at Razor. Finally moved his way up. Razor and Quap sit in the top two. Razor's going to end up being a very difficult problem to deal with. Razor's primary target's probably going to end up being that Faceless Void, but Faceless Void is not playing very contendery, despite having a whole bunch of space being made, especially now by the Nature's Prophet. Quap unable to stop that, or even get the deny on the tower. Just hyper-focused on getting her own farm, trying to push these waves into it. She just needs to catch up and farm pretty heavy. She's still at the top, so it's not really a catch-up mechanic. It's more like let's just get this money out of the way. What item is she queuing up? Looks like she wants to be in a BKB world before she jumps in. Probably to have to deal with a lot of that same issue they had from that Disruptor ulti that a lot of the other people are having today. Surprised we didn't see her go up against a Puck mid, because it's been a key feature point. Looks like Nature's Prophet's going to be using his little trance. Yep, it's going to use those to farm these ancient camps. Looks like that was double stacked on top of it. Beneficial for him. Io leached up on top of the Razor. So far, I like some of the buffing that you have. You have double buffs coming from the Radiant side, just sitting in the Bloodlust from the Ogre, which he only went level 1 into. That's fairly common. Looks like he got stuck in that, but he's still leashed up against the Razor. That was just a disengaged scenario. Disruptor. Kind of curious to see how he got glimpsed so far, and that's all right. Like Viper's just going to keep farming, pushing through. So Earnest Shadows and Spirit Vessel, those are probably some of my favorite items to get. Not necessarily on a Viper, but it depends on who you're going up against. People that like to milk themselves to down and use a lot of armlets. Anybody who utilizes armlet for survival, it's a really good item. It's basically like an anti-Huskar, because Huskar uses armlet typically. You end up with a Wraith King that uses armlet, because the armlet will toggle you down, but it'll never actually kill you. You stop at 1, but the second you throw this on them, if for some reason they accidentally toggle that armlet, they instantly pop and die. So you end up with a duration of time, which is, let me see, just verify, 8 seconds of an accidental armlet toggle equates to death. And with so much natural muscle reaction for people who have developed the armlet toggle skill, it's just reactionary to do it just to regain a certain amounts of HP and then just pop. It's hilarious. It's hilarious on a Huskar, because they don't see it coming, especially at lower ranks. You get into some basic pubs, and Huskars just melt, and then they get sad. Like, how did I die? Well, you know, because. It's always been one of my favorite IO skins, too. It just looks so pretty. Let's see what the Ogre, he's teleporting up to the top lane. He's going to jump in. Looks like Quap's going to jump in and get silenced immediately by the Disruptor. Able to right-click down despite being silenced out. Razor does decide to show up too. Probably brought in by the IO. Yeah, you can tell he's relocated. They might relocate back to the original location. Is he going to tether? No, he takes him back. They're going to sit over there in the triangle. They immediately get boated up. Should have really had some vision over there. Unfortunately, that was a terrible tether. They just got stuck going back to death. So that's where IO is supposed to untether. I wonder if he got yelled at for that. I know. So I play a lot with RoboBlitz, and he would yell at me. He won't yell at regular people, but he'll yell at me all day long. Faceless Void, as he decided to come into play. He did finally finish his Mask of Madness after picking up his Hanamitis. We'll see how far along he ends up actually walking up in this net worth chart. So right now he's sitting in 5th, 3rd on his entire team, despite supposed to be having probably significantly higher last hits. Let's see how many last hits he actually has. Oh, wow. 113. I'm pretty sure that number is supposed to be doubled. Rough estimate. Consider the Quap is at 229. He's probably supposed to get free farming that. Oh, Scream does wipe out the Disruptor. That probably felt really good on behalf of anybody who plays Quap and gets stuck inside of that ulti and not able to move. And he bloodlusts. Let go, Ogre Magi. Very proud of you. So this is a greedy build. If you're going to go ahead and try to get as many kills and farm as you possibly can, you typically go having your Fire Blast into your Ignite. If you're going to try to go into a support level build where you just kind of take care of your partner, trying to lay down a lot of the harass during the laning phase, you go having into the Ignite. Looks like they're going to pick up this kill on this Bane. He is not going to be able to get out of there. I don't know who TP'd out, but looks like either Nature's Prophet made his way out or possibly the Disruptor made his way out. But yeah, as far as the build goes, this is you pick up for kills. That does a lot of single target damage. You land a multicast, something on like the 3 or 4. I mean, it basically nukes somebody down. It is always necessary during team fights to stun the right person, but typically you go heavy into your Ignite. If you're trying to be supportive and make sure your carries have a really good lane, you also go heavy into your Bloodlust, much like Io with his overcharge. It basically allows your carries to get significantly higher farm. I don't see a lot or hear a lot of the sound effects for creep stacking. So Ogre just walking around. It looks like he's not really doing a whole lot for creep stacking yet. Looks like he's playing his own game, trying to get his own farm. Does plan on picking up a Hanamitis of his own. A little curious. A lot of Hanamitis. I don't know if Hanamitis got any kind of buff. I will be looking that up directly after this, because there's a lot of Midases being picked out. And it's not common for a faceless to pick up a Midas. Battle Fury is fairly common. Obviously, Mask of Madness is pretty common. He does decide to buff his Razor, so good job, Magi. So the difference between this is typically your 30, 40, 50, 60. So your level 1 obviously is going to be your highest efficiency benefit. This Courier is $75. That's, what's it called? I can't remember what the name of that friggin' Courier is called. But It is a $75 courier, if I remember right. I got it when it was like $4 for my sister, and she was really excited, happy. They do pick up a quick kill on the Bane, and then it's jumped to like $75. She loves that damn thing. Shack Bark is what it's called, Shack Bark. It's like they're gonna just take this tier 2 tower, despite them being completely owning the Radiant side. They're just gonna let that tower fall. They're probably gonna be trading outposts here too. So this outpost currently owned by the Dire, and this one as well. They're gonna swap out. Looks like they should be rotating up to take over this outpost, so that way they have a new mid line. The median typically being your water and your river, but now it's gonna be your center portion. Quap looks like she picked up her ag shard. Yeah, that shard, it's pretty neat the way that thing works. I'm a big fan of damage on the way in and out. You can also blink next to yourself, so you end up with 420 damage, and then with this you also get an additional 175 and the silence. So jumping in on somebody does silence them. That stops them from doing anything. Does not count as far as muting goes. Faceless Void finally picking up. Does not utilize his Mask of Madness despite having it in his inventory. Let's see who he decides to go ahead and... Oh! No! 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 Go! Ooh! Run! BKB does teleport directly out. That relocate from the IO was about to assure his death. Fortunately, nobody has a stun on that side. Pocket Basher is always pretty fun. Nobody picking one up. Not likely to pick one up anyway right away. Basher's usually like a second item. You always want to pick up your farming items first. A little bit of a Night Harass. It's level 4, so it does add up to quite a bit of damage. So that circle here, it's basically the kinetic field. It just stops him from getting hit. It's like, don't come, don't bother him. He's TPing out. Let him go. They are trying to control both outposts now. Are they? Is that the plan? Is that the plan? Looks like that is in fact the plan. Entity still trying to do really well. Last hits denies. Looks like Razor's jumped up pretty high. He's still in 5th place here. So despite having that Hand of Midas early on, still hasn't overcame. It does take a while for that Hand of Midas to pay for itself. In the meantime, King of Rat Dota, Nature's Prophet, already taken out on that tier 3. Doesn't even have to be there to participate. And he gets pulled back. That was a little funny. These relocations, the X marks the spots, there's so many little things that are just happening to move everybody around. Looks like Viper's going to go ahead and pick up a lot of this extra money. But in the meantime, they still lose a tier 4 or tier 3 tower. That is definitely rough. That is rough. Nature's Prophet doing it again. Let's see what he has. Still just has the drums out of charges. They do not refill. Once you have your charges out, I mean, they're pretty much out. Looks like Quap is going to help try to get that counter push. At least try to eat all those little tree entries. Conka did finish that Silver Edge. He is going to be very painful. We didn't see a crit there, but once he does pick up, if he's going to grab a Daedalus, I'm a little curious to see how much pain he's going to be bringing to the yard. Razor rocking the pocket IO. Bane has the Aether Lens. Flash farming, because Viper flash farm. Shaq Bart just looking cute floating by. Really? Really? Let's go to where he died. What happened there? Looks like Quap and Ogre just kind of jumped on top of him. Not really surprised. So Quap, I mean, obviously has the blink available. Nature's Prophet does not actually have any blink available. Did not pick up a blink dagger despite being a Nature's Prophet. That is usually something you want to get before you go pushing that hard. At 27 minor mark, it's not unfeasible for you to have it. I would probably rather pick that up rather than drums, just for survivability's sake. Eventually your treants are going to be able to overwhelm, but you don't die and you get to maintain that push. And it stays very constant, especially when you're being allowed to get up that top tier 3. Did he get out? Oh, man. Oh, so he did not get out. Oh, that is tough. It's just too much quap, too much ogre. The ogre stuns alone, the lockdown plus the damage from the ignite. And it looks like Faceless, he barely was able to pick up his Hanamitis, and his Mask of Madness. It was a weird combo. Like I said, I'm going to have to look up Hanamitis to see whether or not it's been buffed. But we do have a Maelstrom on board, so he's a lot more lethal inside of his Chronosphere, which he has yet to use. Unfortunately, it's still level 1 Chronosphere, despite being level 17. He did go on a 1.5 second time walk, so that's just going to give him a lot more regeneration ability every time he jumps back. Little hippity hop. Nature's Prophet. Oh, they're going to drop down that Disruptor ulti, silence up the Ogre. It looks like he's just going to use that to possibly disengage rather than to engage. Nature's Prophet bolting. He is playing strictly a rat Dota game. He is not there to play any kind of PvP at all. He is a PvE build for sure. He's going to jump up here. He's going to start his little push again and start into the top lane. The only one that's really been doing some pretty decent fighting so far has been a lot of this Razor play, as well as the Quap. But Io obviously unable to do a whole lot. Ogre, he wants to for sure. Net worth, we're looking at 20K on the Quap. We have Razor sitting at 16. That's a lot of extra meat on top of the Quap. The Quap has an entire item above. So pick any one of these things. That's basically what she's sitting at. Well, half of one. Oh, X marks the spot on top of the up in the air. She is stuck in the air. No mana left. She's not going to be able to blink out of there. That Quap is toast. Razor is stealing every ounce of bonus damage. He's already up to 48 and 52. Does push out the BKB. Looks like he is too afraid to fight, even though he's only lost quite a little bit of that. But the buffs available to him, still not bloodlusted, despite standing next to a farming Ogre Magi. Why do we not play Dota ourselves some days? Rather than casting, I play a shitload of Ogre. A little cranky. I feel like I could definitely be on Entity here a little bit. Just specifically with this pick. I'm not saying I'd be good at everything, but you should keep Bloodlust at all times on your Razor. You're standing next to him. Bloodlust him. It's off cooldown. Go. I feel like Razor's even following next to him, hoping to be Bloodlusted. Granted, he's got the overcharge sitting off of the IO, but is there ever such thing as enough in Dota 2? I don't think so. Viper's viability, it seems kind of underwhelming, despite this being a huge gap between the 20 and the 12. One of the biggest benefits you have is that immediate break. Unfortunately, though, there isn't any real passes outside from the time lock that you can really break into. So ultimately, his break is very underwhelming. The only time that it might be good is if you throw that inside of the Chronosphere while the Chronosphere is going on, just to kind of discourage some of the attack coming from the Faceless Void. But even then, if Faceless Void rocking that Mask of Madness is going to have enough HP regen from the right clicks to sustain himself inside of that in the event that actually does happen. We're trying to see if there might be a relocate to try to get another pick off, at least a pick off in general. Looks like Quap still flash farming. Not exactly sure what she's going for. Is she really, what? Lincoln Sphere. But who does she need a Lincoln Sphere? X marks the spot, so she doesn't get tagged down. Glimpse from Disruptor, so she doesn't get tagged. Yeah, there's a lot to Lincoln Sphere. So yeah, that's definitely a high value pickup right there. Aetherlin's picked up on the Bane, so he doesn't have to worry about getting slapped in the face by anybody so much. He can stay a little bit farther back while he casts a lot of his spells. Shiva's Guard, which is really good for flash farming. Really common on a lot of people. I love the Shiva's Guard on the Tinker nowadays, and it looks like they're just going to go straight into the Roche Pit. It looks like it's going to be free. There isn't a whole lot of vision, not from either team. A lot of the vision on the Radiant side is non-existent. Dire does have some vision, but it's in the wrong locations, unfortunately. Looks like tier 2s have a lot of HP left. Now there's nothing over here because of the Nature's Prophet. It looks like they're trying to push into the bottom. X marks the spot on the Kunkka. He's going to come up. He's probably just going to slap this dude in the face. Oh, and then he takes off. That break, that doesn't do a whole lot up against an Ogre Magi. Little space created there. Now you know you don't have vision on you because you would eat one of those Ignite. Looks like Razor's going to come up. They do have the Aegis. It was put onto the Quap. Unfortunately, Quap is top. She should be Shadow Rise, Astral Step, top 2, Spotify. Trying to raise actual step top 2 Spotify. Spotify? Oh yeah. What's up, Coldness? Yeah, I totally forgot. Yeah, I've actually been listening to a lot of that lately. It's pretty good music. No complaints on my end. Let's see who's got what. 4 staff picked up. We do have obviously Aegis. Now this item here, the Kaya Sage, really fun pickup. Oh man, I hate this game some days. Really? Oh. So if you look at the death locations, it looks like Bane died over here. It looks like the Nature's Prophet obviously picked off while she was doing quite a bit of the split pushing. Let's see, Quamp does have the Aegis, KNS. We do have a little bit extra range as well as a refresher on the Razor. That harass is so annoying. We do have a Phaseless Void ult on the Razor. Does get enough time to pick off the Razor, utilize that BKB so there's no repercussions from the Quamp. Quamp does not have her ultimate up available. Viper, probably very paranoid to be there. Does not have a lot of his heavier DPS and his harder hitting. Sound effects coming from IO are adorable. Let me see this Ogre Magi. He does look kind of funky. Oh, he is ready. Quamp looks kind of trippy too. Kind of hard to tell. Looks like Quamp's going to TP back to base. 25 bonus strength coming into the Ogre Magi. He does not want to die at all. All right, so back to the items. It's not. Oh, he does have a BKB. It is sitting on 6, so he has used it quite a bit. The refresher, not the world's largest fan of refresher on the Razor. I feel like there's better items that you could pick up, like replacing that Falcon Blade. Falcon Blade does fall off. 12 damage is quite a bit, but not enough when you compare yourself to owning your own static link. Looks like Viper did pick up the Spirit Vessel. Only has 1 charge on it though. That's despite having 31 kills. Mech and an Eye picked up on the IO. Now IO is a strength character, but he's sitting at 1750. Not the greatest idea to put on the gem. The gem on the IO, but he can relocate himself into another position, drop the gem, come back, and then die. So there's some benefit to that. Disruptor does have his Aghanims. Looks like Kunkka does have his Silver Edge as well as double damage. Very, very lethal, and is going to be picking up his Daedalus. He wants to just run around and right-click anybody. That's his goal in life. Ooh, we did finally get a Mjolnir sitting on the Faceless Void. Mask of Madness, obviously, which keeps him his ability to do anything inside. Bane and Orchid. See, this Nature's Prophet still needs to recognize that the blink is a very, very high requirement for life. Gets a jump on the Bane. Makes quick work of Bane. Not really surprised, tier 4-5. It's it's not the worst thing in the world to lose. It is a lot of crowd control in the middle of a team fight, though. Financially, it's not the worst, but team fight wise, that's a really heavy backliner. Quick invis, splash damage. Looks like basically immune at that point for the Razor. Almost completely back to full life. Link broken for the tether on the IO. Faceless Void, ulti, Chronosphere dropped in. Is going to try to tag out that Razor. Picks up the Razor kill, pops his BKB immediately. Stops right-clicking, despite having Mask of Madness. Should continuously be right-clicking, decide to slowly run away and die. And there's a saying, why do you not run from a sniper? Because you only die tired. And in that case, he should have definitely stayed. It looks like Viper's going to pick up that IO tether. He's going to easily make quick work of the Kunkka as well. Buybacks coming in. Faceless Void in a lot of trouble. Disruptor does get the ult down on top of the Quap. Quap can't go anywhere, but will they have the DPS to actually take her out? They do the first time, but now they have to deal with an Aegis on top of it. Oh, that's a tough life as a possibility. She blinks next to herself, getting the silence off, guaranteed on top of the Faceless Void. Picks up the dieback and a Fiend's Grip on top of the Kunkkas. Oh, that is kind of funny. She gets away. She gets away. Razor finally makes his way in. Is not static linked to anybody, but is definitely getting a lot of pickoffs. He does not have static link available for another 15 seconds. Looks like he killed whoever he was static linked to a little bit too fast. He looks like he's trying to do everything he can to get some of these racks. Is stuck sleeped in a very bad spot. Nature's Prophet made his way, looks like, to the triangle. Looks like the Kunkka's going to come back. Ooh, that's a lot of splash damage. Did not crit. Would like to see a little bit more crit on him for sure. Static Link was disconnected way too fast, but that's okay. Right click and run, right click and run, right click and run. The vision game is a little bit difficult in this game too. It looks like they got a lot of vision in places that is not 100% necessary. They each own their own outposts, so the XP gain is equal. Nature's Prophet is still backdooring that top lane. Looks like the Razor's going to get slept. IO was tethered up to the Viper. They're going to push in and get this bottom set of racks, it looks like. Ogre frontlining the crap out of life. Is utilizing his Hanamitis. You can tell he's got 8 seconds left on it. Now, Hanamitis on an Ogre, it will proc to multiple creeps. So as you can see there, he did get a multiplier on there. It looks like he Hanamitis maybe 3 or 4 creeps. That is a big benefit towards XP game as well as money, obvious reasons. One of my favorite things on an Ogre though, outside from Hanamitis, if you can catch anybody off with a Dagon, it's pretty funny because you can actually Dagon somebody 4 times down. Another one is Orchid, because you can Orchid their entire team essentially with 1 spell cast if you get the right multiplier. So like I said, this Rat Dota boy, he's definitely pushing in everything he can. He's already started working on these tier 4s. Quap trying to stop this backdoor push despite winning team fights consistently over and over, direct to direct. But Rat Dota is just playing the Rat Dota. So there's 11. Ooh, wait, is he keeping that? He is keeping the Spell Prism. Interesting choice. Might as well. I mean, every little bit of cooldown you can get, obviously better. All right, so Razor does have Eye of the Storm strike interval. That is a really fast attack on the Eye of the Storm. Static Link damage steal. That's awesome, especially when you're going up against a Faceless Void. If you can get the Link on the Faceless Void and maintain it. Plasma Field damage does taper off really quickly because you're not really using that for right clicks whenever your right click is really high damage. Kind of curious to see where this team fight is happening. We do have a 5-man smoke. Ooh, splash damage and run. That's one thing I love about Kunkka. I'm not really even surprised they got the pick off on Nature's Prophet. Nature's Prophet does not have a Blink Dagger. Should absolutely have a Blink Dagger. Still doesn't have a Blink Dagger. The only thing is I just want to know that Nature's Prophet knows why he's dying. Eventually. Kinetic Field being used for vision. Time lock, a little bit of boosty. See some of the items we would like to see. That is a fast-hitting Viper. You can lay down so many stacks. Like the stack is 5, right? But with that Bloodlust, I mean, essentially that's got to be at level 4 by now. He finally leveled up to level 4. So team worthy. At this point, that Bloodlust, you can lay down so many poison attacks. See, 0.35, so essentially you're at full attack duration in like, what, 2 seconds or so? 1.5 seconds, and you have the instant 5 stacks from the Viper. Looks like they're going to get the Disruptor ulti as well as the ulti from the Faceless Void, all stacked on top. Does not finish off the Viper. Viper does eventually die. They are going to expel the Aegis. Aegis being used on the Razor. Razor versus everybody else, it looks like, inside the jungle. Will actually start taking the Static Link on the Nature's Prophet. Ogre Magi did die there. Looks like they're chasing this Bane. And the Nature's Prophet. Quick work, quick work. Not surprised. Really good rotations. 24K gold lead. I really don't see this game. Really don't see this game going anywhere too crazy outside from just in the dumpster for the Braum. Unfortunately, it does look like Anity's going to have a really hard time dealing with this. So looking at some of the key items we're going to have, Shiva's Guard obviously providing a significant amount of farm. She did finally pick up an Ethereal Blade. This is survivability, but you can also throw it on somebody, ulti on somebody, and then cause a shitload more damage. To have the Refresher on the Razor. Nothing too crazy on the Viper, pretty standard, but utilizing that Bloodlust. Looks like another team fight up top. They did command the Disruptor ulti. Looks like Razor's able to get his BKB off. Not right-clicking anybody, just trying to get out of that circle of kinetic field. Do they have vision on top of the Kunkka? Kunkka did pop the BKB, but it's not enough. Quap is able to get in there and right-click him down. Faceless and Kunkka both down. Neither of them buyback ready. This might very well be GG. 27K gold lead. Who's going to go back and defend? And Nature's Prophet is not doing his split pushy game. I think Desolator would probably be pretty beneficial for the Nature's Prophet. Yeah, he should have been directly in the base at that point. There were creeps in the base, and he was not there. He was mid, unfortunately. And that is GG. Anity victory. Man, I kind of expected to go the other way a little bit. Only because the Ogre, I think, wasn't bloodlusting as much as he should have been in the beginning. So without that additional damage and no farm on top of your Viper, you know, it ends up going the other way. But it looks like a lot of that bloodlust finally started going on his team. He was finally started helping that Razor to get all the kills that he needed to. Started pushing all that pressure on top of the Viper. So pretty stoked about that. The IO obviously is going to pop 100 times. But I think the biggest detriment was the death of Nature's Prophet. I think Nature's Prophet is probably one of the biggest reasons why they ended up losing there. Without a Blink Dagger, you can't keep up a consistent push. You can see how far he ended up pushing there in the first place just with what he had. I mean, you know, the Bloodthorn, so that's a lot of kill ability on anybody who decides to come and jump on top of you. You have the Assault Cuirass, that's a really easy way to help push lanes if you're going to stand there next to them. Not something you typically want, because the idea is not to be standing next to them, especially when you have somebody on top of you. If anybody's going to come and gank you, expect to die. So you need to blink out of there, you need to make sure you can sprout, and then probably pick up a BKB, and then jump out of there too. Yeah, for sure. That Viper was, dude, that Viper was tearing shit up. He was really good. It looks like he ended up going 6-6, but he needed to get that bloodlust. Like, if he got the bloodlust on top of that Viper, I mean, that Viper was lethal. Like, they couldn't do a whole lot to him. But I really think a lot of it came down to Nature's Prophet not having that blink. He had enough Rat Dota in him to hit tier 4s by himself. If he would have kept that up consistently, he would have forced the fights to be a split team fight, would have forced a lot of more backs onto their own base, would have opened up the map a lot more, but instead they were able to pick him off and then just jump back into fighting. So is there any requests for next? It looks like we have Navi and Hellraisers next game. You want to go there, or you want to go back into... or we can go into the next game here, form the Entity and Braum. It's y'all's choice. Pick it. I'll play it. All right, I'm going to go to DPC. I'm going to go to the Nautisphere here and the Hellraisers. Looks like it's a 1-up for the Team Navi. They actually were the first TI winners. They had Puppy as well as Dendy back in the day. So, usually a big fan of watching that. I also like Russian Dota style gameplay. There's a big difference, North American gameplay, Russian gameplay, and the Chinese gameplay. There's not a whole lot, but a lot of it's going to be item build differences. You see, it looks like a lot more Hannah Midas pickups on the Russian side. You will not see that picked up so much in China. Typically, like that Faceless Void, I would never see that. I did want to look at the patch notes, actually. Let me pull that up really quick. I wanted to see if there was anything that modified. Okay. Can't handle that so much. Hand of Midas, did it have any kind of modification that made it friggin' awesome enough to pick up at all times? So I get it on the Ogre. I didn't see it. Good boots for Ursa, phase boots. because then you can like land your right clicks a lot faster. Typically, you just cast it and you can right click them down. That's early game. You want phase boots, and it's just all about that catch up mechanic to be able to make sure you're able to put all of your stacks on top of them. Other than that, sometimes people will go into treads, get that additional attack speed, but if you're going to go with that, you need to make sure you have an Orb of Venom in your pocket, so that way you can at least get the slow so you can get the right click, so you don't need the additional speed. Instead, you're just nerfing their ability to move. Now, Orb of Venom itself, especially as a melee, it's 13%, so everybody has roughly 300 typical movement speed, so that negates 39 movement speed, so that helps you basically get your right clicks on top of them. If you don't have Orb of Venom and you go into the treads, then you're only going to be stuck at 45, and you'll hit them like once or twice maybe, and then they run away. You won't have the catch-up mechanic to it. Phase boots obviously giving you a percentage base, so you end up with 20% on top of the 45. So quick kill on the Wraith King, it looks like. That silence was detrimental. He does have an extra life to go ahead and come back. Wraith King, and they commit the scream on top of a very squishy Crystal Maiden. She is dead. Looks like Puck is unable to bounce himself out of here. Oh, he does get, oh, sound effect wise, I thought he was going to make it. I heard that phase shift go, and I was like, there's a chance, and then he popped. But yeah, it's all about making sure you have the mechanic to be able to take advantage of getting those stacks on top of him. So phase boots, it's a 20% bonus on top of 45. So it actually ends up being better than like your higher end boots of travel. Not the highest boots of travel, but so if everybody's stock movement speed is roughly 300, you end up with 45. Plus, when you activate it, it comes out to an additional rough estimate 60. So it ends up being 105 total movement speed-ish that you pick up. So you can always basically guarantee that you're going to get those stacks. You need to make sure you can land on top of it. If you don't get those stacks built up, then they're just going to walk away and let the cooldown go, and then just run. All right, so who do we have here? So we got Wraith King, one of the highest win ratios in the game right now. Wraith King, it's just really difficult to deal with. Picking up the quick armlet, that 25 extra strength is no joke. That's a pain in the ass to deal with. You have a Quab who does have illusions modeled. She does have her right click boots, so that does give you additional attack speed, but like I was saying, you're stuck at that 45 movement speed. And the Hellraiser, Lycan, he better be going for that big boy. He better be going for that big boy. Yeah, he's going for the Helm of the Overlord. Lycans, they are kind of worthless until they start getting to their bigger auras online. The auras that you want to get are definitely from the Ancients. This one here does have the health capacity, so you get an additional 15% HP bonus. Not as beneficial. Where is the Black Dragon? Looks like Black Dragon's not on screen, but Black Dragon Fireball comes out to like an additional 850 damage just from like one spell cast if you can just deal with a little bit of micromanagement. 850 damage. It's basically like a Laguna bait. It is a tick over time, so I think it's 85 damage for 10 seconds. But the damage overall, it's a huge nuke, so you don't really want to get and build up a Lycan without, and you don't want to team fight unless you have that shapeshift up. If you don't have shapeshift up, you're in a lot of trouble just by yourself. You don't have the movement speed, you don't have the regen, you don't have the fight capability. Plus, on top, I think it also gives crit. Yeah, you're like 40% crit damage being pretty significant. So outside from that, like this is your biggest like perk to damage. That is your Daedalus. That is your yeah, basically instant Daedalus and Morbid Mass, I guess, essentially, because you end up with a whole shitload of lifesteal from it on top of it. Especially with the Vladimir's offering. So you want the bigger auras. You definitely want if you can get the dragon. I think the dragon, in my opinion, is the biggest win early game. You just come in, you can jump on top of the Quap. So she's already sitting at 1500 HP. You can throw down the fireball. Ooh, this is perfect. You can hit him twice and then fireball him, and then he dies. So that's another big benefit to it. Let's go to the last hits and see kind of where everybody's sitting at. We are 14 minutes, 13 seconds in. Ursus, we have 130 on the Quap, 115 on the Puck. That's a really common matchup, obviously mid versus mid. Looks like Quap is winning. The only person, I guess, is Thompson to win on the Puck scenario, but we'll see who's died the most. Wraith King, very difficult problem to deal with. Looks like Lycan also. So they have quite a bit on the Radiant side as far as the highest tier. As farming. Looks like Ogre just popped so quickly. Very squishy, unfortunately. Rubik spells to look for are all over the board. Any one of these spells, if you can get the Dream Coil, if you can get any kind of bonus splash damage from the Grimstroke, Stroke of Fate is really nice to have early on because it helps you farm as a Rubik. Obviously, you're going to want to capture the stun or even turn into the dragon yourself. Chaos Knight Illusions, probably not the greatest thing to have. If you can get the Chaos Knight stuns, that would be probably better, just so you can have some teamfight participation, go in, stun, and run away. So that's the last hits denies. Let's go to current net worth. It's like Quap Lycan, but Lycan's very farm heavy anyway. Typically, Lycans start from the very beginning. They just run around. Try it, bro. Try what? I'll try whatever. What you got? All right, so we got a 5-man smoke. They might be trying to go to the Roche pit. They don't have anything super Roche. At least not until they end up with at least a Basher. They're going to go for a quick pick on a Crystal Maiden. It's not a high value target, but I mean, it's better than no target at all. Crystal Maiden, probably in a bad spot. Ooh, just trying to see if she can get any kind of vision. It's pretty smart there. They don't have the scan to see if they're there, but she is very scared. They don't have anything on them. Looks like they're going to go ahead and just jump into this anyway. Looks like Lycan's going to be front-manning this along with his takes. He did pick up the big boy. He has the nice fat aura, bonus HP percentage. It's just a lot of right-click. All right, so itemization armlet. We do have Orchid on the Quap. Looks like the big boy helm of the Overlord sit on the Lycan. You can tell by him having his ancient there. Rubik does have beautiful raindrops, always underrated. Would look like planned on finishing the big boy one, magic one instead of magic stick. Never invested into it. Definitely going to go into an Aether Lens. Probably a little bit late now to finish the magic stick. It's 17 minutes in, and as a so close, Quap. You did try. Mana boots on top of the Magi. Chaos Knight with the armlet. Oh, see that? That Echo Saber is very mean. More raindrops on the Crystal Maiden. Puck. 2 Null Talisman. Boots. Betty Skitty. Grimstroke with a Ghost Scepter does not want to be right-clicked to death. That's probably to help save his life against the Lycan. And Bleak Dagger, as well as the Soul Ring on the DK. I'm getting tagged up by people here. 1 second. Son's asking geography questions, apparently. My wife's better at that, so she's going to answer. All right, so we got a lot more moment. Looks like Chaos Knight's going to sit over here. Just like free farm a little bit. Quap is going to challenge a lot of that free farm. Fortunately, it doesn't look like they have a stun. He's able to TP out of there with no problem. Immediately calling for a retreat. Looks like a shapeshift in queue. Ooh, he's gonna tag down this Puck. Puck needs to get locked down in order to not... Oh, is he able to jump out of there? Does he have a Blink Dagger? Unfortunately, does not. That Yule's is gonna be pretty big benefit. Illusionary Orb doing its work for survivability, that's for sure. Quap just grab more farm. This Ogre bloodlusting everybody as he goes. Good job, Hellraisers. Lord Dance. Is he over here stacking, running? Probably warding. Not warding. DK getting a little bit more free farm bottom. Looks like they're went ahead and rotated to this right-hand side of the map on the tire side. I just like that sound effect, too, from the Tumbler's toy. Immediate right click down. Looks like Quap's just trying to get some farm. Let's go to the override camera for a little bit. He's going to stand there and wait for it. Yay! So I just found out my son failed geography. I told him. He failed with a 69 too, which is terrible. Chaos Knight rocking that armlet. Looks like net worth-wise, Chaos Knight and the Quap are pretty high-end. If Chaos Knight sends his illusions out to go ahead and farm for him, it's really easy to get multiple camps at the same time. Wraith King, also really easy too. Those skeletons are a really big benefit. Wraith Kings, in some cases, actually pick up a Radiance. I'm not a big fan of a Radiance on the Wraith King, but I know it's pretty heavily looked after. See, he's going the Desolator build. I want more right-click and more HP regen. The Radiance is magic damage, and of course, it's also right-click, but Desolator is going to let you cut through a lot of the meat on your heavier characters that might be in the game. So it ends up adding up to more HP regen than you would from the Radiance. Radiance, though, does give you a lot significant farm, but unfortunately, you have to be able to use that farm to farm. So you're dedicating more time to actually killing things rather than people. And the way the meta and Dota is actually patched right now, you want to kill people, not things. 12 spell lamp application picked up on the punk. That's going to be pretty drastic. Looks like we did get a scream out on the Quap, leashed up with the Quap as well as the Ogre. They're not allowed to go anywhere. It looks like a Dream Coil has also been picked up on a 3-man. We do have deaths on the Crystal Maiden. Oh, everybody's actually wiping except for the Lycan. We do have the Aegis coming back. Is Quap going to be able to get out of there? Looks like that blink and run goes. And the Lycan's going to be able to bounce out of there too. Oh, hell no. Damn, that's crazy. All right. That was some shit right there. Okay. I think I'm going to change the format a little bit of my channel. I think I'm going to go like Thug Life Gaming because that felt fun. And despite wearing a tie, I am very hood inside. And part of me wanted to say some fucking dirty shit. And this is a mature channel, right? So I think I'm going to get a little ruthless here. This motherfucker right now. Okay, so check this shit out. So Wraith King, Desolator. Got a lot of stun. Was able to come back with Reincarnation. But what the hell is he doing? He's got to go out there and actually farm some shit, right? Like, he's sitting in the jungle. You have a TP scroll, not for 48 seconds, but look where you're at. You're hiding behind your own set of towers, terrified to go in your triangle, right? You know that they're there. Get the fuck out and go around. Go do something. There you go. Like even the other team is telling you to leave and then go into your own jungle. Pretty difficult. Oh, he did pick up that big boy. So this is that fireball that I was talking about. Duration 10 seconds, 85 damage per tick. 850 damage. That is a fucking nightmare to deal with. It's a Laguna Blade. That's a big meaty Laguna Blade. They're going to catch this motherfucker down. It looks like Puck got him. Grim got him silenced. Rubik is going nowhere. That is another deathly Rubik all over again. These guys just drop like flies. I don't know if I'm a big fan of Rubik. They're beyond underwhelming lately. Rubik's used to pick up Blink Dagger. Oh, there it is. It's way later. But the idea is to be able to get in, get a spell, and blink out, or blink in, cast your spell, die. I mean, something. But there's no viability without a Blink Dagger as a Rubik. It's a personal opinion, I guess. Looks like no one. Still doing like some mad work. Did go with the Blink and Yules. He will never die. A Blink Yules Puck is going to live for fucking ever. The jukes are insane. The damage that he can do is insane. Yeah, survivability is nuts. It looks like that one there. Just make sure that this not warded up. Oh, looks like they're gonna pick off 3 with 1 ward. Good Rubik, good Rubik. You got a pat on the head. There you go. Pat your head. What the hell is his face is like melty for some reason. Let's check up that Rubik really quick. I want to see Rubik's face. Oh, look at that hair. Super cool Rubik hair. That's not terrible. All right. So we got some more farming going on the side of DK. He's trying to catch up much as he can. He is sitting almost 4K behind. He's got to go get some people kills, not some creeple kills. 5-man smoke. It's like everybody's playing this one. Do they do it underwater? Looks like not. That dragon doesn't know they're there either, but they know the dragon's there. Dragon Fireball still down. Does not have enough mana. Utilizing that for creeps. They're going to get a quick pick off on this. Rubik instantly silence. A lot of that splash damage coming from the Grimstroke. Looks like DK is going to go ahead and use his ulti too. Pops that. Puck is gone. Buyback on the Rubik. Puck can buy back. Ooh, DK, despite being tanky, is still going to eat it to that fucking scream. Ignite splash damage all over the board. Crystal Maiden's going to suck the fat one on that one. Right clicks all day long from that Deso. Did you see that Deso? The Desolato did some work. Oh, that is, see. Oh, so good. So good. Going for BKB next. Pretty awesome. He'll be totally fine. I think the winner is definitely going to be Hellraisers. Well, they got a 3K lead. The Wraith King's smart enough to pick up a Desolator. They got the Bloodlust coming from the Ogre Magi. They still have a feeding, underwhelming Rubik, but he's still level 13. Let's look at the levels in this entire game. Hero level. Yeah, I mean, okay, so he's kind of shitty. Never mind, I'll take it back. You got Quap. She's definitely high, but she was mid. She rocked the shit out of it. And so she's sitting right next to the puck. Chaos Knight and Wraith King obviously playing your position ones. Lycan on the sidelines with a position 1. So by default, you want to give it to like higher in the top 5. So it looks like it's going to go more to the side of the Radiant side rather than the Dire. But Dire side does have the Lycan. Is Lycan going to go bite? Okay, looks like he is not. Looks like he's going with a Scythe. Kind of feel like bite would be a lot of fun too, because you could bite off that Wraith King, and that Wraith King is already lethal enough with that Desolator on top of his natural regen. If you bite the Wraith King, I feel like that would be a 5-man wipe, especially with a BKB. Be a beautiful day. Ooh, nice little stun. Nothing too crazy. They got a silence on a Puck. Puck uses himself to disperse that silence or dispel. Does use illusionary warp, just trying to kite his way back out of this team fight. They do get a pick off of the Crystal Maiden and the Grim. Not the worst things to die, not what you want. And a beautiful taunt coming from the Wraith King. The King is here. Got a Lycan, wonderful wolf form. See if we can get a close-up shot of the Kongor. Big ol', oh, there goes a Chaos Knight, and he's just right-clicking creeps. Damn, hot dog, hot dog, hot dog, hot diggity dog. Puck's gotta run. Do they have vision? Do they have vision? Do they have vision? Look at that. That is a trippy ass ward. It's a good ward. Immediately revealed if you ever decide to take the outpost. But it's not common for people to just drop it directly on top of the outpost. Double damage. I'm really excited about this. Come on, keep him bloodlusted. Oh, no. No, you don't need a bloodlust, Rubik. Stop it. Rubik does not need bloodlust. It's okay. The Wraith King's going to come up and right-click the shit out of everyone. I really wish they'd bite him with the Lycan bite. That would be so dope. Oh, yeah, that's hey, it works again. Oh, looks like they're jumping up here on this top. Oof. Oof, oof, oof. Puck down here towards the bottom. What's he doing? Oh, what happened on top? Oh, man. Looks like another double kill. Looks like Lycan was able to play on that one. What are you going to do up against this Wraith King? Bloodlusted to shit. Rocking a Desolator Blink Tagger. Another 25 strength on top of it. 2,400 HP. Wait, hold on. 2,400 HP plus 2,400 HP. 3K HP with that armlet up. That is a 6K Wraith King. And that dude is just so right-click heavy. He does not even care. He's still doing damage despite backdoor protection being up. That is some serious shit to deal with. Like, how do you defend against that? What's the goal? Chaos Knight stun? He still gets right-clicking down. He doesn't even have splash damage, but he's still able to do it. Chaos Knight does have the Echo Saber. I don't know if he's been able to pull that off. We do have Force Staff. Oh, Courage. Survivability granted, but your lethality tapers. Crowd control also tapers. This DK needs so much more farm, and so does a Chaos Knight. I feel like this Wraith King's going to call it, make Hellraiser's going to go 1-1. They're going to go to a game 3. That's where I'm calling it right now. I don't think there's anything they can do against this Wraith King. Forget the Quap, forget the Lycan. I think Wraith King on Bloodlust with that Desolator Blink, it's a little bit late in the game if they push, but it looks like they're going to give them space and time to farm. They should be inside of that. Yeah, they should own this triangle, and they should be pushing up in that bottom lane. Force the fight to happen in the tier 3. Whip it, whip it, whip it, whip that motherfucker. Whip it, whip it, whip it. Look at that, was so quick. Just click, click, click. That is pro end shit. What does she have? So if you want to do exactly what she did, you get in roughly 200 range. 200 range, you'll be all right. Giving Quap that Aegis though. Mid-range push. Oh, they know for a fact they got invisibility vision there. Don't go in. They can see invis. Free bottom tower. It looks like they're going to control both outposts too. Shut up, Morty! Smack him. It's like he's going to... What to do? Really? They're going to... DK wants to go in through their jungle. Ooh. Reach out and touch fate. Minesweeper. What? What we got going? Looks like really chill, man. We got a 10-man smoke. No one can see anybody. Shitload of invisibility going. At this level, what's normal? Came with a win bonus. She's a level 20. Oh, yeah, nobody cares. Ooh, looks like a quick rotation. Who are they going to find who? They do know for a fact they're sitting in that lane. Rubik does get off. Looks like he was able to pick up the Stroke of Fate. A little bit of bonus damage. DK does pop his. Oh, he gets the stun off. Scream of Pain coming out there. They're trying to get a pick off really quick to this Chaos Knight. Chaos Knight is down. So is the Crystal Maiden. They do have a buyback from the Grim. Looks like it might be a dieback if they can even lick him once or twice. Man, that's game. They have buyback on the... that is game. Absolutely. Go Hellraisers. Go Hellraisers. Call that bullshit. Not by much. I called it by like 4 minutes. But I called it before Navi. Oh, man. All right, I'm going to change my stream name really quick to whatever we're going to be watching next. I enjoy streaming the shit out of everything. It looks like that might be the end of the live games. There is going to be another 1v1, 1-1 coming up from Navi versus Hellraisers. Let's look on the tournaments really quick, and let's see who's playing over here. Entity versus Braum. If you bear with me, I'm going to cut the channel for rough estimate, 30 seconds or so, and then we'll be directly back. All I'm going to do is just rechange the title as soon as I get the title changed out so other people can kind of join in and get an idea of what we're doing. We'll reset this